My Immortal by Tara Gillespie. Chapter 1. Author's note. Special thanks, get it cause I'm gothic, to my new GF, ew not in that way, Raven, Bloody Tears 666 for helping me with the story and spelling. Ooh ruck, just in order to love of my depersing life. Ooh ruck too, MCR rocks! Hi, my name is Ebony Darkness Dementia Raven Way, and I have long ebony black hair, that's how I got my name, with purple streaks and red tips that reaches my mid-back and icy blue eyes like limpid tears, and a lot of people tell me I look like Amy Lee. Author's note, if you don't know who she is, then get the hell out of here. I'm not related to Gerard Way, but I wish I was because he's a major fucking hottie. I'm a vampire, but my teeth are straight and white. I have pale white skin. I'm also a witch, and I go to a magic school called Hogwarts in England where I'm in the 7th year. I'm 17. I'm a goth in case you couldn't tell, and I wear mostly black. I love Hot Topic and I buy all my clothes from there. For example, today I was wearing a black corset with matching lace around it and a black leather miniskirt, pink fishnets and black combat boots. I was wearing black lipstick, white foundation, black eyeliner and red eyeshadow. I was walking outside Hogwarts. It was snowing and raining, so there was no sun, which I was very happy about. A lot of preps stared at me. I put up my middle finger at them. "Hey, Ebony," shouted a voice. I looked up. It was Draco Malfoy. "What's up, Draco?" I asked. "Nothing," he said shyly. But then I heard my friends call me and I had to go away. Author's note, is it good? Please tell me, fangs! Chapter 2. Author's note, thanks to Bloody Tears 666 for helping me with the chapter. BTW, PREPZ STOP FLAMMING my story, okay? The next day I woke up in my bedroom. It was snowing and raining again. I opened the door of my coffin and drank some blood from a bottle I had. My coffin was black ebony and inside it was hot pink velvet with black lace on the ends. I got out of my coffin and took off my giant MCR t-shirt which I used for pajamas. Instead I put on a black leather dress, a pentagram necklace, combat boots and black fishnets on. I put on 4 pairs of earrings in my pierced ears and put my hair in a kind of messy bun. My friend Willow, author's note, Raven, this is ooh, woke up then and grinned at me. She flipped her long waist-length raven black hair with pink streaks and opened her forest green eyes. She put on her Marilyn Manson t-shirt with a black mini, fishnets and pointy high-heeled boots. We put on our makeup, black lipstick, white foundation and black eyeliner. OMFG, I saw you talking to Draco Malfoy yesterday, she said excitedly. Yeah, so, I said blushing. Do you like Draco? She asked as we went out of the Slytherin common room and into the Great Hall. No, I so fucking don't, I shouted. Yeah, right, she exclaimed. Just then, Draco walked up to me. Hi, he said. Hi, I replied flirtily. Guess what, he said. What, I asked. Well, Good Charlotte are having a concert in Hogsmeade, he told me. Oh my fucking god, I screamed. I love GC! They're my favorite band, besides MCR. Well, do you want to go with me, he asked. I gasped. Chapter 3. Author's note. Stop flamming the story, preps, okay? Otherwise, thanks to the Gothic Pipple for the good reviews. Thanks again, Raven. Oh yeah, BTW, I don't own this or the lyrics for a good Shrelot. On the night of the concert, I put on my black lace-up boots with high heels. Underneath them were ripped red fishnets. Then I put on a black leather mini dress with all this corset stuff on the back and front. I put on matching fishnet on my arms. I straightened my hair and made it look all spiky. I felt a little depressed then, so I slit one of my wrists. I read a depressing book while I waited for it to stop bleeding and I listened to some GC. I painted my nails black and put on tons of black eyeliner. Then I put on some black lipstick. I didn't put on foundation because I was pale anyway. I drank some human blood so I was ready to go to the concert. I went outside. Draco was waiting there in front of his flying car. He was wearing a simple plaid t-shirt, they would play at the show too, baggy black skater pants, black nail polish and a little eyeliner. Author's note, a lot for cool boy's word, okay? Hi Draco, I said in a depressed voice. Hi Ebony, he said back. We walked into his flying black Mercedes-Benz, the license plate said 666, and flew to the place with the concert. On the way we listened excitedly to Good Charlotte and Marilyn Manson. We both smoked cigarettes and drugs. When we got there, we both hopped out of the car. We went to the mosh pit at the front of the stage and jumped up and down as we listened to Good Charlotte. You come in cold, you're covered in blood, they're all so happy you've arrived. The doctor cuts your cord, hands you to your mom. She sets you free into this life, sang Joel. I don't own the lyrics to that song. Joel is so fucking hot, I said to Draco, pointing to him as he sung, filling the club with his amazing voice. Suddenly, Draco looked sad. What's wrong, I asked as we marched to the music. Then I caught on. Hey, it's okay, I don't like him better than you, I said. Really? Asked Draco sensitively as he put his arm around me all protective. Really, I said. Besides, I don't even know Joel and he's going out with Hillary fucking Duff. I fucking hate that little bitch, I said disgustedly, thinking of her ugly blonde face. The night went on really well, and I had a great time. So did Draco. After the concert, we drank some beer and asked Benji and Joel for their autographs and photos with them. We got GC concert tees. Draco and I crawled back into the Mercedes-Benz, but Draco didn't go back into Hogwarts. Instead, he drove the car into the Forbidden Forest! Chapter 4. Author's note. I said stop flaming, okay? Ebony's name is Annabie, not Mary Sue, okay? Draco is so in love with her that he's acting different. They knew each other before, okay? Draco, I shouted, what the fuck do you think you are doing? Draco didn't answer, but he stopped the flying car and he walked out of it. I walked out of it too, curiously. What the fucking hell? I asked angrily. Ebony, he asked. What? I snapped. Draco leaned in extra close and I looked into his gothic red eyes. He was wearing color contacts which revealed so much depressing sorrow and evilness, and suddenly I didn't feel mad anymore. And then, suddenly, just as Draco kissed me passionately. Draco climbed on top of me and we started to make out keenly against a tree. He took off my top and I took off his clothes. I even took off my bra. Then he put his thingy into my you-know-what and we did it for the first time. Oh, I screamed. I was beginning to get an orgasm. We started to kiss everywhere and my pale body became all warm. And then... What the hell are you doing, you motherfuckers? It was... Dumbledore! Chapter 5. Author's note. Stop flaming! If you flam it means or a prep or a poser. The only reason Dumbledore swore is cause he had a headache, and on top of that he was mad at them for having sex. P.S. I'm not updating until I get 5 good reviews. Dumbledore made it and Draco and I follow him. He kept shouting at us angrily. You ludicrous fools, he shouted. I started to cry tears of blood down my pallid face. Draco comforted me. When we went back into the castle, Dumbledore took us to Professor Snape and Professor McGonagall, who were both looking very angry. They were having sexual intercourse in the Forbidden Forest, he yelled in a furious voice. Why did you do such a thing, you mediocre dunces? Asked Professor McGonagall. How dare you? Demanded Professor Snape. And then Draco shrieked, Because I love her! Everyone was quiet. Dumbledore and Professor McGonagall still looked mad, but Professor Snape said, Fine, very well, you may go up to your rooms. Draco and I went upstairs while the teachers glared at us. Are you okay, Ebony? Draco asked me gently. Yeah, I guess, I lied. I went to the girls' dorm and brushed my teeth and my hair and changed into a low-cut black floor-length dress with red lace all around it and black high heels. When I came out, Draco was standing in front of the bathroom and he started to sing I Just Wanna Live by Good Charlotte. I was so flattered, even though he wasn't supposed to be there. We hugged and kissed. After that, we said goodnight and he reluctantly went back into his room. Chapter 6. Author's note. Shut it up, PREPZ, okay? P.S. I will not update until you give me good vows. The next day I woke up in my coffin. I put on a black miniskirt that was all ripped around the end and a matching top with red skulls all over it and high-heeled boots that were black. I put on 2 pairs of skull earrings and 2 crosses in my ears. I spray-painted my hair with purple. In the Great Hall I ate some Count Chocula cereal with blood instead of milk and a glass of red blood. Suddenly someone bumped into me. All the blood spilled over my top. Bastard! I shouted angrily. I regretted saying it when I looked up because I was looking into the pale white face of a gothic boy with spiky black hair with red streaks in it. He was wearing so much eyeliner that I was going down his face and he was wearing black lipstick. He didn't have glasses anymore and now he was wearing red contact lenses just like Draco's and there was no scar on his forehead anymore. He had a manly stubble on his chin. He had a sexy English accent. He looked exactly like Joel Madden. He was so sexy that my body went all hot when I saw him, kind of like an erection, only I'm a girl so I didn't get one, you sicko. I'm so sorry, he said in a shy voice. That's alright, what's your name, I questioned. My name's Harry Potter, although most people call me Vampire these days, he grumbled. Why, I exclaimed. Because I love the taste of human blood, he giggled. Well, I am a vampire, I confessed. Really, he whimpered. Yeah, I roared. We sat down to talk for a while. Then Draco came up behind me and told me he had a surprise for me, so I went away with him. Chapter 7. Bring Me to Life. Author's note. Well, okay, you guys, I'm only writing this because I got 5 God reviews. In BTW, I won't write the next chapter till I get 10 God vans. Stop flaming or ill report, ooh. Ebony isn't a Mary Sue, okay? She isn't perfect, she's a Satanist. And she has problems, she's depressed for God's sake. Draco and I held our pale white hands with black nail polish as we went upstairs. I was wearing red Satanist sings on my nails and red nail polish. Author's note, see, does that sound like a Marusu to you? I waved to Vampire. Dark misery was in his depressed eyes. I guess he was jealous of me that I was going out with Draco. Anyway, I went upstairs excitedly with Draco. We went into his room and locked the door. Then we started Frenching passively and we took off each other's clothes enthusiastically. He felt me up before I took off my top. Then I took off my black leather bra and he took off his pants. We went on to bed and started making out naked, and then he put his boy's thingy in mine and we had sex! See, is that stupid? Oh, Draco. Draco, I screamed while getting an orgasm, when all of a sudden I saw a tattoo I had never seen before on Draco's arm. It was a black heart with an arrow through it. On it in bloody gothic writing were the words, Vampire! I was so angry. You bastard, I shouted angrily, jumping out of the bed. No, but you don't understand, Draco pleaded, but I knew too much. No, you fucking idiot, I shouted. You probably have AIDS anyway. I put on my clothes all huffily and then stomped out. Draco ran out even though he was naked. He had a really big you-know-what, but I was too mad to care. I stomped out and did so until I was in Vampire's classroom, where he was having a lesson with Professor Snape and some other people. Vampire Potter, you motherfucker, I yelled! Chapter 8. Author's note. Stop flassing, okay? If you do, then you are a prep. Everyone in the class stared at me, and then Draco came into the room even though he was naked and started begging me to take him back. Ebony, it's not what you think, Draco screamed sadly. My friend Bloody Mary Smith smiled at me understatedly. She flipped her long waist-length gothic black hair and opened her crimson eyes like blood that she was wearing contact lenses on. She had pale white skin that she was wearing white makeup on. Hermione was kidnapped when she was born. Her real parents are vampires, and one of them is a witch, but Voldemort killed her mother, and her father committed suicide because he was depressed about it. She still has nightmares about it, and she is very haunted and depressed. It also turns out her real last name is Smith and not Granger. Since she has converted to Satanism, she is in Slytherin now, not Gryffindor. What is it that you desire, you ridiculous dimwit? Snape demeaned angrily in his cold voice, but I ignored him. Vampire, I can't believe you cheated on me with Draco, I shouted at him. Everyone gasped. I don't know why Ebony was so mad at me. I went out with Vampire, I'm bi and so is Ebony, for a while, but then he broke my heart. He dumped me because he liked Brittany, a stupid preppy fucker. We were just good friends now. He had gone through many horrible problems, and now he was gothic. Haha, like I would hang out with a prep. But I'm not going out with Draco anymore, said Vampire. Yeah, fucking right. Fuck off, you bastard, I screamed. I ran out of the room and into the forbidden forest where I had lost my virility to Draco, and then I started to bust into tears. Chapter 9. Author's note. Stop flaming, okay? I didn't read all the books. This is from the movie, okay? So it's not my fault if Dumbledore swears. Besides, I said he had a headache. And the reason Snap doesn't like Harry now is cause he's Christian and vampires are Satanists. MCR rocks! I was so mad and sad. I couldn't believe Draco for cheating on me. I began to cry against the tree where I did it with Draco. Then, all of a suddenly, an horrible man with red eyes and no nose and everything started flying towards me on a broomstick. He didn't have a nose, basically like Voldemort in the movie, and he was wearing all black, but it was obvious he wasn't gothic. It was Voldemort! No, I shouted in a scared voice, but then Voldemort shouted Imperious and I couldn't run away. Crookshanks, I shouted at him. Voldemort fell off his broom and started to scream. I felt bad for him even though I'm a sadist, so I stopped. Ebony, he yelled, thou must kill Vampire Potter! I thought about Vampire and his sexy eyes and his gothic black hair and how his face looks just like Joel Madden. I remembered that Draco had said I didn't understand, so I thought, what if Draco went out with the vampire before I went out with him and they broke up? No, Voldemort, I shouted back. Voldemort gave me a gun. No, please, I begged. Thou must, he yelled. If thou does not, then I shall kill thy beloved Draco. How did you know? I asked in a surprised way. Voldemort got a dude, you're so retarded look on his face. I have telekinesis, he answered cruelly, and if you doth not kill Vampire, then thou know what will happen to Draco, he shouted. Then he flew away angrily on his broomstick. I was so scared and mad I didn't know what to do. Suddenly, Draco came into the woods. Draco, I said. Hi! Hi, he said back, but his face was all sad. He was wearing white foundation and messy eyeliner, kind of like a pentagram, get it? Between Joel Madden and Gerard Way. Are you okay, I asked. No, he answered. I'm sorry I got all mad at you, but I thought you cheated on me, I expelled. That's okay, he said, all depressed, and then we went into Hogwarts together, making out. Chapter 10. Author's Note. Stop it, you gay fags. If you do not like my story, then fuck off. P.S. It turns out Bloody Mary isn't a muggle after all, and she and Vampire are evil. That's why they moved houses, okay? I was really scared about Voldemort all day. I was even upset went to rehearsals with my gothic metal band Bloody Gothic Rose 666. I am the lead singer of it and I play guitar. People say that we sound like a cross between GC, Slipknot, and MCR. The other people in the band are Bloody Mary, Vampire, Draco, Ron, although we call him Diablo now. He has black hair now with blue streaks in it, and Hagrid. Only today Draco and Vampire were depressed, so they weren't coming and we wrote songs instead. I knew Draco is probably slitting his wrists. He wouldn't die because he was a vampire too, and the only way you can kill a vampire is with a CROSS. There's no way I'm writing that, or a stake. And Vampire was probably watching a depressing movie like The Corpse Bride. I put on a black leather shirt that showed off my boobs, and tiny matching miniskirt that said Simple Plan on the butt. You might think I'm a slut, but I'm really not. We were singing a cover of Helena, and at the end of the song I suddenly bust into tears. Ebony, are you okay? Bloody Mary asked in a concerted voice. What the fuck do you think? I asked angrily. And then I said, well, Voldemort came and the fucking bastard told me to fucking kill Harry, but I don't want to kill him because he's really nice, even if he did go out with Draco. But if I don't kill Harry, then Voldemort will fucking kill Draco! I burst into tears. Suddenly, Draco jumped out from behind a wall. Why didn't you fucking tell me? He shouted. How could you? You fucking poser muggle bitch! See, is Dad out of character? I started to cry and cry. Draco started to cry too, all sensitive. Then he ran out crying. We practiced for 1 more hour. Then suddenly, Dumbledore walked in angrily. His eyes were all fiery and I knew this time it wasn't because he had a headache. What have you done? He started to cry wisely. See, that's basically not swearing, and this time he was really upset, and we'll see why. Ebony, Draco's been found in his room. He committed suicide by slitting his wrists. Chapter 11. Author's Note. I said stop flaming up, PREPZ. See if this chapter is stupid 1111. It deals with really serious issues. Specie for yourself if it's stupid. BRW, thanks to my friend Raven for slapping me. No, I screamed. I was horrified. Bloody Mary tried to comfort me, but I told her fuck off and I ran to my room crying myself. Dumbledore chased after me shouting, but he had to stop when I went into my room because he would look like a perv that way. Anyway, I started crying tears of blood and then I slit both of my wrists. They got all over my clothes, so I took them off and jumped into the bath angrily while I put on a Linkin Park song at full volume. I grabbed a stake and almost stuck it into my heart to commit suicide. I was so fucking depressed. I got out of the bathtub and I put on a black low-cut dress with lace all over it sandily. I put on black high heels with pink metal stuff on the ends and 6 pairs of skull earrings. I couldn't fucking believe it. Then I looked out the window and screamed. Snap was spying on me and he was taking a videotape of me, and Lupin was masticating to it. They were sitting on their broomsticks. Ew, you fucking perv! Stop looking at me naked! Are you pedos or what? I screamed, putting on a black towel with a picture of Marilyn Mason on it. Suddenly, Vampire ran in. Abracadabra! He yelled at Snape and Lupin, pointing his womb. I took my gun and shot Snape and Lupin a gazillion times, and they both started screaming, and the camera broke. Suddenly, Dumbledore ran in. Ebony, it has been revealed that someone has— No! He shouted, looking at Snape and Lupin, and then he waved his wand, and suddenly, Hagrid ran outside on his broom and said, "Everyone, we need to talk." What do you know, Hagrid? You're just a little Hogwarts student. I may be a Hogwarts student, Hagrid paused angrily, but I am also a Satanist! This cannot be, Snap said in a crisp voice as blood dripped from his hand where Dumbledore's wand had shot him. There must be other factors. You don't have any, I yelled in madly. Lupin held up the camera triumphantly. The lens may be ruined, but the tape is still there. I felt faint, more than I normally do, like how it feels when you do not drink enough blood. Why are you doing this? Lupin said angrily while he rubbed his dirty hands on his cloak. And then I heard the words that I heard before, but not from him. I did not know whether to feel shocked and happy or to bite him and drink his blood because I felt faint. Because, Hagrid said, and he paused in the air dramatically, waving his wand in the air. Then swooped he in singing to the tune of a gothic version of a song by 50 Cent. Because you're gothic? Snap asked in a little afraid voice. Because he was afraid it meant he was connected with Satan? Because I love her! Chapter 12. Author's note. Stop f***ing, okay? Hagrid is a pedo too. A lot of people in American schools are looked at. I wanted to address the issue. How do Uno Snap? I ain't Christian. Plus, Hagrid isn't really in love with Ebony. That was Cedric, okay? I was about to slit my wrist again with the silver knife that Draco had given me in case anything happened to him. He had told me to use it valiantly against an enemy, but I knew that we must both go together. No, I thought it was Hagrid, but it was Vampire. He started to scream. OMFG, no, my scar hurts! And then, his eyes rolled up. You could only see his red whites. I stopped. How did you know? I saw it, and my scar turned back into the lightning bolt. No, I ran up closer. I thought you didn't have a scar anymore, I shouted. I do, but Diabolo changed it into a pentagram for me, and I always cover it up with foundation, he said back. Anyway, my scar hurt and it turned back into the lightning bolt. Save me! Then I had a vision of what was happening to Draco. Voldemort has him in bondage! Anyway, I was in the school nurse's office now recovering from my slit wrists. Snap and Lupin and Hagrid were there too. They were going to St. Mango's after they recovered because they were pedophiles and you can't have those fucking pervs teaching in a school with lots of hot girls. Dumbledore had constipated the video camera they took of me naked. I put up my middle finger at them. Anyway, Hagrid came into my hospital bed holding a bouquet of pink roses. Enemy, I need to tell you something, he said in a serious voice, giving me the roses. Fuck off, I told him. You know I fucking hate the color pink anyway, and I don't like fucked up preps like you, I snapped. Hagrid had been mean to me before for being gothic. No, Enemy, Hagrid says. Those are not roses. What are they, goths too, you poser prep, I asked, because I was angry that he had brought me pink roses. I saved your life, he yelled angrily. No, you didn't, I replied. You saved me from getting a Paris Hilton pee video made from your shower scene and being viewed by Snap and Lupin, who masturbated. See, is that spelled wrong? To it he added silently. Whatever, I yelled angrily. He pointed his wand at the pink roses. These aren't roses. He suddenly looked at them with an evil look in his eye and muttered, well, if you wanted honesty, that's all you had to say. That's not a spell, that's an MCR song, I corrected him wisely. I know, I was just warming up my vocal cords. Then he screamed, Petulus Marengo mi Kermikli Romasho! For all you cool gothic MCR fans out there, that is a tribute, especially for Raven. I love you, girl, I'm Monato Okeo! And then the roses turned into a huge black flame floating in the middle of the air, and it was black. Now I knew he wasn't a prep. Okay, I believe you now. WTF is Draco? Hagrid rolled his eyes. I looked into the balls of flame, but I could see nothing. Usi Enabi, Dumbledore said, watching the two of us watching the flame. To see what is in the flames. Haha, you reviewers flames, get it? We must find ourselves first, Kay. I have found myself, okay, you mean old man? Hagrid yelled. Dumbledore looked shocked. I guess he didn't have a headache, or else he would have said something back. Hagrid stormed off back into his bed. You are a liar, Prof. Dumbledore! Anyway, when I got better, I went upstairs and put on a black leather mini dress that was all ripped on the ends with lace on it. There was some corset stuff on the front. Then I put on black fishnets and black high-heeled boots with pictures of Billy Joe Armstrong on them. I put my hair all out around me so I looked like Samara from The Ring, if you don't know who she is, or a prep, so fuck off. And I put on blood red lipstick, black eyeliner, and black lip gloss. You look kawaii, girl, Bloody Mary said sadly. Fangs, get it, you do too, I said sadly too, but I was still upset. I slit both of my wrists, feeling totally depressed, and I sucked all the blood. I cried again in my bathroom and put the shades on so Snap and Lupin couldn't spy on me this time. I went to some classes. Vampire was in the hair of magic creatures. He looked all depressed because Draco had disappeared and he had used to be in love with Draco. He was sucking some blood from a Hufflepuff. Hi, he said in a depressed way. Hi back, I said in an wiggly sad way. We both looked at each other for some time. Harry had beautiful red gothic eyes so much like Draco's. Then, we jumped on each other and started screwing each other. Stop it now, you horny simpletons, shouted Professor McGoggle, who was watching us and so was everyone else. Vampire, you fucker, I said, slapping him. Stop trying to screw me. You know I loved Draco, I shouted, and then I ran away angrily. Just then he started to scream. OMFG, no, my scar hurts! And then, his eyes rolled up. We could only see his red whites. No! I ran up closer. I thought you didn't have a scar anymore, I shouted. I do, but Diablo changed it into a pentagram for me and I always cover it up with foundation, he said back. Anyway, my scar hurt and then I had a vision of what was happening to Draco. Voldemort has him in bondage! Special thanks to Raven, my Gothic's blood sister. WTF, we were supposed to reach this! 1111111. Hey Raven, do you know where my sweater I? Chapter 13. Author's note. Raven, thanks for helping me again. I'm sorry I took your poster of Gerard, but that guy is such a fucking sex bomb. PREPZ STOP FLAMMING! Vampire and I ran up the stairs looking for Dumbledore. We were so scared. Dumbledore! Dumbledore! We both yelled. Dumbledore came there. What is it that you want now, you despicable snobs? He asked angrily. Voldemort has Draco! We shouted at the same time. He laughed in an evil voice. No, don't! We need to save Draco, we begged. No, he said meanly. I don't give a darn what Voldemort does to Draco. Not after how much he misbehaved in school, especially with you, Ebony, he said while he frowned looking at me. Besides, I never liked him that much anyway. Then he walked away. Vampire started crying. My Draco, he moaned. Author's note, don't you thick gay guys are like so hot? It's okay, I tried to tell him, but that didn't stop him. He started to cry tears of blood. Then he had a brainstorm. I had an idea, he exclaimed. What, I asked him. You'll see, he said. He took out his wand and did a spell. Then, suddenly we were in Voldemort's lair. We ran in with our wands out just as we heard a croon voice say, Alakadabra! It was Voldemort! Chapter 14. Author's note. Fuck off, PREPZ, okay? Raven, thanks for helping again. I'm sorry I couldn't update, but I was depressed and I had to go to the hospital cause I slit my wrists. P.S. I'm not updating till you give me 10 gather views. Warning, some of this chapter is extremely scray. Viewer discretion advised. We ran to where Voldemort was. It turned out that Voldemort wasn't there. Instead, the fat guy who killed Cedric was. Draco was there crying tears of blood. Snaketail was torturing him. Vampire and I ran in front of Snaketail. Rid my sight, you despicable PREPZ, he shouted as we started shooting him with the gun then suddenly he looked at me and fell down with a lovey-dovey look in his eyes. Ebony, I love you, have sex with me, he said. And this, he is 16 years old, so he's not a pedophile, okay? Huh, I asked. Ennaby, I love you, will you have sex with me, asked Snaketail. I started laughing crudely. What the fuck? You torture my BF and then you expect me to fuck you? God, you are so fucked up, you fucking bastard, I said angrily. Then I stabbed him in the heart. Blood poured out of it like a fountain. No! He screamed. He started screaming and running around. Then he fell down and died. I burst into tears sadly. Snaketail, what art thou doing? Called Voldemort. Then he started coming. We could hear his high heels clacking to us. So we got on our broomsticks and we flew to Hogwarts. We went to my room. Vampire went away. There I started crying. "What's wrong, honey?" asked Draco, taking off his clothes so we could screw. He had a sex pack, get it, cause he's so sexa, and a really huge you-know-what and everything. "It's so unfair," I yielded. "Why can't I just be ugly or plain like all the other girls in preps here, except for Bloody Mary, because she's not ugly or anything?" "Why would you want to be ugly? I don't like the preps anyway. They're such fucking sluts," answered Draco. "Yeah, but everyone is in love with me. Like Snape and Lupin took a video of me naked. Hagrid says he's in love with me. Vampire likes me now, and even Snaketail's in love with me. I just want to be with you, okay, Draco? Why couldn't Satan had made me less beautiful?" I shouted angrily. Author's note, don't worry, Annabelle isn't a snob or anything, but a lot of people have told her she's pretty. "I'm good at too many things. Why can't I just be normal? It's a fucking curse," I shouted, and then I ran away. Chapter 15. Author's note. Stop flaming, okay? BTW ooh suck. From now on, every time someone flams me, I'm gonna slit my wrists. Thanks to Raven for helpine. Ebony, Ebony, shouted Draco sadly. "No, please, come back!" But I was too mad. "Whatever! Now you can go and have sex with Vampire," I shouted. I stormed into my room and closed my black door with my blood-red key. It had a picture of Marilyn Manson on it. He looked so sexy in a way that reminded me of Draco and Vampire. I started to cry and weep. I took a razor and started to slit my wrists. I drank the blood all depressed. Then I looked at my black GC watch and noticed it was time to go to biology class. I put on a short ripped black gothic dress that said Anarchy on the front in blood red letters and was all ripped in a spiky belt. Under that I put on ripped black fishnets and boots that said Joel all over them with blood red letters. I put my ebony black hair out. Anyway, I went downstairs feeling all sad and depressed as usual. I did some advanced biology work. I was turning a bloody pentagram into a black guitar. Suddenly the guitar turned to Draco. "Annabelle, I love you," he shouted sadly. "I do not care what those fucker preps and posers think. We're the most beautiful girl in the world. Before I met you, I used to want to commit suicide all the time. Now I just want to fucking be with you. I fucking love you." Then he started to sing the Chronicles of Life and Death. We considered it our song now because we fell in love when Joel was singing it, right in front of the entire class. His singing voice was so amazing and gothic and sexy, like a cross between Gerard, Joel, Chester, Pierre, and Marilyn Manson. Author's note, don't you think those guys are so hot? If you do not know who they are, then get the fuck out of her. "OMFG," I said after he was finished. Some fucking prep stared at us, but I just stuck up my middle fingers that were covered in black nail polish and were entwined with Draco's now at them. "I love you," I said, and then we started to kiss just like Hilary Duff, I fucking hate that bitch, and CMM in a Cinderella story. Then we went away holding hands. Lupin shouted at us, but he stopped cause everyone was clapping by how sexy we looked together. Then I saw a poster saying that MCR would have a concert in Hogsmeade right then. We looked at each other all shocked and then we went together. Chapter 16. Author's note. You know what? Shut up, okay? Prove to me you're not preps. Raven, you suck. You fucking bick, give me back my Fukisian sweetie. We're supposed to reach this. Raven, WTF, you bick. We're supposed to do this. BTW, thanks to Brittany5655 for teching my Japanese. We ran happily to Hogsmeade. There we saw the stage where GC had played. We ran in happily. MCR were there playing Helena. I was so fucking happy. Gerard looked even sexier than he did in the pictures. Even Draco thought so. I could totally see him getting an erection, but it didn't matter cause I knew that we were the only true ones for each other. I was wearing a black leather mini dress and black leather platinum boots with ripped red fishnets. Draco was wearing a black baggy MCR t-shirt and black baggy pants. Anyway, we stayed marching to Helena. We Frenched. We ran up to the front of the band to stage dive. Suddenly, Gerard pulled off his mask. So did the others. We gasped. It wasn't them at all. It was Voldemort and the Death Dealers. WTF, Draco, I'm not going to a concert with you, I shouted angrily. Not after what happened to me last time? Even if it's MCR and you know how much I lick them. What, cause we... You know, he gadgeted uncomfortably, cause guys don't like to talk about you know what. Yeah, cause you know, I yielded in an angry voice. We won't do that again, Draco promised. This time, we're going with an escort. OMFG, WTF, are you giving in to the mainstream, I asked. So I guess you're a prep or a Christina or what now? No, he muttered loudly. Are you becoming a prep or what, I shouted angrily. Ebony, I'm not. Pulse, come with me. He fell down to his knees and started to sing The World is Black by GC to me. I was flattened cause that's not even a single. He had memorized the lyrics just for me. Okay, then I guess I will have to, I said, and then we Frenched for a while and then I went up to my room. Bloody Mary was standing there. Hajimama Shaite, girl, she said happily. She speaks Japanese, so do I. That means how do you do in Japanese. BTW, Willow, that fucking poser, got expelled. She failed all her classes and she skipped math. Author's note, Raven, ooh fucking suck. Fook, ooh. It serves that fucking bic right, I laughed angrily. Well, anyway, we were feeling all depressed. We watched some gothic movies like Das Nightmare before Xmas. Maybe Willow will die too, I said. Kawaii, Bloody Mare shook her head energetically, lethargically. Oh yeah, I have a confession. After she got expelled, I murdered her and then Lupin did it with her cause he's a neckfleck. Kawaii, I commented happily. We talked to each other in silence for the rest of the movie. Oh hey, BTW, I'm going to a concert with Draco tonight in Hogsmeade with MCR, I said. I need to wear like the hottest outfit ever. Bloody Mary nodded energetically. OMFG, totally, let's go shopping. In Hot Topic, right? I asked, already getting out my special Hot Topic loyalty card. No! My head snapped up. What? My head spun. I could not believe it. Bloody Mary, are you a prep? No, she laughed. I found some cool gothic stores near Hogwarts, that's all. Who told you about them? I asked. Sure, it would be Draco or Diablo or Vampire. Don't even say that name to me. Or me. Dumbledore, she said. Let me just call her Brahms. OMFFG, Dumbledore? I asked quietly. Yeah, I saw the map for Hogsmeade on his desk, she told me. Come on, let's go! We were going in a few punk goth stores specially for the concerts in Hogsmeade. The salesperson was OMG hotter than Gerard, except not, cause that's impossible, and he gave me a few dresses. We only have these for the real goths. The real goths? Me and Bloody Mary asked. Yeah, you wouldn't believe how many poses there are in this town, man. Yesterday Lupin and Snap tried to buy a gothic camera pouch. He shook his head. I didn't even know they had a camera. OMFG, no, they're gonna spy on me again, I cried, running out of the changing room wearing a long black dress with lots of red tulle coming out and very low cut with a huge slit. Oh my Satan, you have to buy that outfit, the salesperson said. Yeah, it looks totally hot, said Bloody Mary. You know what? I'm gonna give it to you for free cause you look really hot in that outfit. Hey, are you gonna be at the concert tonight? He asked. Yeah, I am actually, I looked back at him. Hey, BTW, my name's Ebony Darkness Dementia Taraway. What's yours? Tom Ridd, he said, and ran a hand through his black-dyed hair. Maybe I'll see you there tonight. Yeah, I don't think so, cause I'm gonna be there with my BF Draco, you sick perv, I yelled angrily. But before he could beg me to go with him, Hagrid flew in on his black broom looking worried. OMFG, Ebony, you need to get back to the castle right now. Chapter 17. Author's note. I said stop filming the styro. If you're a prep, then do not read it. You can tell whether you're a prep or not by my quiz, it's on my homepage. If you're not, then you rock. If you are, then fuck off. PZ, Willow isn't really a prep. Raven Poles do this, I'll promise to give you back our poster. Tom Riddle gave us some clothes and stuff for free. He said he would help us with makeup if he wanted cause he was really into fashion and stuff. He's bisexual. Hagrid kept shooting at us to come back to Hogwarts. WTF, Hagrid, I shouted angrily. Fuck off, you fajoking bastard. Well, anyway, Willow came. Hagrid went away angrily. Hey bitch, you look kawaii, she said. Yeah, but not as kawaii as you, I answered sadly cause Willow's really pretty and everything. She was wearing a short black corset thingy with blood red lace on it and a black blood red miniskirt, leather fishnets and black pointy boots that showed off how pale she was. She had a really nice body with big bobs and everything. She was thin enough to be anorexic. So are you going to the concert with Draco, she asked. Yeah, I said happily. I'm going with Diablo, she answered happily. Well, anyway, Draco and Diablo came. They were both looking extremely hot and sexy, and you could tell that they thought we were odd too. Diablo was wearing a black t-shirt that said 666 on it. He was wearing tons of makeup just like Marilyn Manson. Draco was wearing black leather pants, a gothic black GC t-shirt, and black Vans he got from the Warped Tower. Bloody Mart was going to the concert with Dracula. Dracula used to be called Navel, but it turned out that he was kidnapped at birth and his real family were vampires. They died in a car crash. Navel converted to Satanism and he went goth. He was in Slytherin now. He was wearing a black warped t-shirt, black jeans and shoes, and black hair with red streaks in it. We call him Dracula now. Well, anyway, we all went to Draco's Black Mercy Benz. Get it? 'Cause we're Capufic. That his dad Lucian gave him. We did pot, coke, and crack. Draco and I made out. We made fun of those stupid fucking preps. We soon got there. I gasped. Gerard was the sexiest guy ever. He looked even sexier than he did in pics. He had long raven black hair and piercing blue eyes. He was really skinny and he had an amazing ethnic voice. We marched to Helena and some other songs. Suddenly, Gerard pulled off his mask. So did the other members. I gasped. It wasn't Gerard at all. It was an ugly, preppy man with no nose and red eyes. Everyone ran away but me and Draco. Draco and I came. It was Voldemort and the Death Dealers. "You moronic idiots," he shouted angstily. "Enemy, I told you to kill vampire. Thou have failed, and now I shall kill thou and Draco." "No, no, please," we begged sadly, but he took out his knife. Suddenly, a gothic old man flew in on his broomstick. He had long black hair and a long black beard. He was wearing a black robe that said Avril Lavigne on the back. He shouted a spell and Voldemort ran away. It was Dumbledore! Chapter 18. Author's Note. I said stop flamming! If you do, then you're a fucking prep. Thanks to Raven for the help and stuff. Ooh rock! And you're not a prep. Thanks from a suitor. P.S. The order as in Dumbledore swears 'cause he's trying to be gothic, so der. I woke up the next day in my coffin. I walked out of it and put on some black eyeliner, black eyeshadow, blood-bed lipstick, and a black really low-cut leather dress that was all ripped and in stripes so you could see my belly. I was wearing a skull belly ring with black and red diamonds inside it. The night before Draco and I went back to the skull, get it? Skull, 'cause I'm gothic and I like death? Dumbledore chased Voldemort away. We flew there on our brooms. Mine was black and the broom stuff was blood red. There was lace all over it. Draco had a black MCR broom. We went back to our rooms and we had you know what to a Linkin Park song. Well, anyway, I went down to the Great Hall. There all the walls were painted black and the tables were black too. But you could see that there was pink paint underneath the black paint, and there were posters of poser bands everywhere, like Ashley Simpson and the Backstreet Boys. WTF, I shouted, going to sit next to Bloody Mary and Willow. Bloody Mary was wearing a black leather mini with a good Shreloot t-shirt, black fishnets, and black pointy boots. Willow was wearing a long gothic black dress with blood red writing that was all lacy and came up to your thighs and black boots and fishnets. Vampire, Dracula, and Draco came. We started to talk about who was sexier, Mikey or Gerard Way or Billy Joe Armstrong. The boys joined in because they were bi. "Those guys are so fucking hot," Navel was saying, as suddenly a gothic old man with a black beard and everything came. He was the same one who had chased away Voldemort yesterday. He had normal tan skin, but he was wearing white foundation and he had dyed his hair black. "Dumbledore one?" we all gasped. "WTF, I shouted angrily. I thought he was just wearing that to scare Voldemort." "Hello everyone," he said happily. "As you could see, I gave the room a makeover. What do you think about it?" Everyone from the poser table in Gryffindor started to cheer. Well, we goths just looked at each other all disgusted and shook our heads. We couldn't believe what a poser he was, one. "BTW, you can call me Albert. He called us as we left to our classes." "What a fucking poser," Draco shouted angrily as we wee to transformation. We were holding hands. Vampire looked really jealous. I could see him crying blood in a gothic way. Get it? Way like Gerard? But I didn't say anything. I bet he's having a midlife crisis, Willow shouted. I was so fucking angry. Chapter 19. I'm not okay, I promise. Author's note. Please stop flaming the story. If you do, then we're a fucking prep and we're jealous, okay, 1-1. From knock on I'm going to adult or men reviews, 111. BTW, Evan need a poor blood, so der, 1. Thanks to Raven for him to help, 1-1. All day we sat angrily thinking about Dumbledore. We were so fucking pissed off. Well, I had one thing to look forward to. The MCR concert. It had been postponed, so we could all go. Anyway, I went to the common room sadly to cut classes. Draco was being all secretive. I asked what it was and he got all mad at me and started crying all hot and angsty. Aren't sensitive bi guys so hot? No one fucking understands me, 1, he shouted angrily as his black hair went in his big blue eyes like Billy Joe in Boulevard of Borkin Dreams. He was wearing black baggy pants, a black MCR t-shirt, and a black tie. Get it? Instead of tie, cause I'm gothic. I was wearing a black leather low-cut top with chains all over it, a black leather mini, black high-heeled boots, and a cross-belly thing. My hair was all up in a messy, really high bun like Amy Lee in Gong Under. Email me if you want to see the pic. Accuse me? What about me? I growled. But, he grunted. You fucking bastard, I moaned. No, wait, it's not what it fucking looks like, he shouted. But it was too late. I knew what I heard. I ran to the bathroom angrily, crying. Draco banged on the door. I whipped and wept as my body eyeliner streamed down my cheeks and made cool tears down my feces like Benji in the video for girls and boys. Raven, that is so our video. I took out a cigarette and started to smoke pot. Suddenly, Hagrid came. He had appurated. You gave me a fucking shock, I shouted angrily, dropping my pot. WTF do you think you're doing in the girls' room? Only it wasn't just Hagrid. Somebody else was with him too. For a second I wanted it to be Tom Ridd or maybe Draco, but it was Dumbledore. Hey, I need to ask you a question, he said, pulling out his black wannabe gothic purse. What are you wearing to the concert? You know who MCR are, I gasped. No, I just saw there was a concert that a lot of goths and punks were going to, he said. Anyway, Draco has a surprise for oo. Chapter 20. Author's note. I said I did not care what oo think. Stop flamming, okay, PREPZ 1. Thanks to Raven for the help, 1. Oh yeah, BTW, I'll be on vacation in Transylvania for the next 3 days, so do not expect updates. All day I wondered what the surprise was. Meanwhile, I put on a black leather mini, a black corset with purple lace stuff all over it, and black gothic compact boots. MCR were going to the concert again, since Volksmart had taken over the last one. I slit my wrists while I moshed to MCR in my bedroom all night, feeling excited. Suddenly, someone knocked on the door while I was trying on some black clothes and moshing to Fang Yu for the venom. I got all mad and turned it off, but sacredly I hopped inside that it was Draco so we could do it again. What the fucking hell are oo doing? I shouted angrily. It was Lupin. Are oo gonna come rape me or what? I yelled. I was allowed to say that because Dumbledore had told us all to be careful around him and Snape since he was a pedo. No, actually, get it? Hell. Can I please borrow some condoms? He growled angrily. Yes, you can fuck your 6-year-old girlfriend, huh? I shouted sarcastically. Fucker, he said, going away. Well, anyway, I put on some black eyeshadow, black eyeliner, and some black lipstick and white foundation. Then I went. Then I gasped. Snake and Lupin were in the middle of the empty hall doing it, and Dobby was watching one. Oh my god, you ludicrous idiot, they both shouted angrily when they shouted at me. Dobby ran away crying. They got up though. Normally I would have been turned on, I love seeing guys do it, but both of them were fucking preps. BTW, Snake has moved to Gryffindor now. WTF, is that why you wanted condoms? I asked sadistically. See, I spelled that. Only you wouldn't give them to me, Lumpkin shouted angrily. Well, you should have told me, I replayed. You dimwit, Snake began to shoot angrily. And then I took out my black camera and took a pic of them. You could see that they were naked and everything. Well, excuse me, they both shouted angrily. What was that all about? It was to blackmail you, I snarked. So now next time you see me doing it with my boyfriend, you can't fucking rat me out or I'll show this to Dumbledore. So fuck off, oo bastards. I started to run. They chased me, but I threw my wound at them and they tripped over it. Well, anyway, I went outside and there was Vampire, looking extremely fucking hot. WTF, where did Draco? I asked him. Oh, he's being a fucking bastard. He told me he wouldn't come, Vampire said, shaking his head. You wanna come with me to the concert? Then he showed me his flying car. I gasped. It was a black car. He said his dogfather, Sirius Black, had given it to him. The license plate on the front said 666 on it. The one on the back said Enemy on it. I gasped. We flew to the concert hall. MCR were there playing. Vampire and I began to make out, moshing to the music. I gasped, looking at the band. I almost had an orgasm. Gerard was so fucking hot. He began to sing Helena and his sexy beautiful voice began to fill the hall. And then I heard someone crying. I turned and saw Draco crying in a corner. Chapter 21. Author's note. Folk ooh okay? Ooh fucking suck. It's not my fault if it's spelled wrong, okay? Cause that bick Raven, cause it fuck ooh PREPZ 1. Whoops saws Raven, thanks for the help. BTW Transylvania rocks hard 1. I even got to go to the castle where Dracula was filmed. Later we all went in the skull. Draco was crying in the common room. Draco, are you okay? I asked in a gothic voice. No, I'm not, you fucking bitch, he shouted angrily. He stated to run out of the place in a suicidal way. I stated to cry cause I was afraid he would commit suicide. It's okay, Annabelle, said Vampire comfortably. I'll make him feel better. You mean you'll go fuck him, won't you? I shouted angrily. Then I ran to get Draco. Vampire came too. Draco, please come, he began to cry. Tears of blood came down his pale face. I was so turned on cause I love sensitive bi guys. If we're a homophone, then fuck off. And then we heard some footsteps. Vampire got out his black invincibility cloak. We both got under it. We saw the janitor, Mr. Norris, there, shouting angrily with a flashlight in his hand. Who's there? He shouted angrily. We saw Filth come. He went under the invisibility cloak and started to meow loudly. Is anyone there? Yelled Mr. Norris. No, fuck you, you preppy little poser son of a fucking bitch, Vampire said under his breath in a disgusted way. Excuse me, who said that? Yelled Mr. Norris. Then he heard Filch meow. Filth, is there anyone under the cloak? He asked. Filth nodded. And then Vampire Frenched me. He did just as Mr. Norris was taking off the cloak one. What the? He yelled, but it was too late cause now we were ruining away from him. And then we saw Draco crying and busting into tears and slitting his wrists outside of the school. Draco, I cried, are you okay? I guess though, Draco wept. We went back to our coffins Frenching each other. Draco and I decided to watch Lake Placid. See, isn't the present on the gothic red bed together. As I was about to put in the video, my eyes rolled up and suddenly I had a vision of something that was happening now. There was a knock on the door and Frog and a Mystery of Magic walked into the school 1. Chapter 22. Author's note. STFU! PREPZ Stop Flamming, okay? If you did not like it, fuck off. I know it's Mr. Norris, it's Raven's fault, okay? 1-1. Ooh, suck 1. No, just kidding, Raven. Ooh, fucking rock. PREPZ suck 1. All day, everyone talked about the misery of magic. Well, anyway, I woke up the next day. I was in my coffin, so I opened the door. I was wearing black lacy leather pajamas. Then I gasped. Standing in front of me were Bloody Mary, Vampire, Diablo, Draco, Dracula, and Willow. I opened my crimson eyes. Willow was wearing a tight black leather top with pictures of bloody roses all over it. Under that she wore a black poofy skirt with lace on it and black gothic boots that was attached to the top. Vampire was wearing a baggy Simple Plan t-shirt and baggy black pants and Vans. Draco was wearing a black MCR t-shirt and black jeans and a leather jacket. He looked just like Gerard Way, and almost as fucking sexy. Vampire looked just like Joel Madden. Bloody Mary was wearing a tight black poofy gothic dress that she had ripped so it showed off all her cleavage with a white apron that said "Pick" and other swear words and MCR lyrics on it, kind of like one dress I had seen Amy Lee wear once. Darkness, who was Jenny, was there too. She was weaving a ripped gothic black dress with ripped stuff all over it and a lace-up top thing and black pointy boots. So were Crab and Goyle. It turns out that Darkness, Diabolo, Crab and Goyle's dad was a vampire. He committed suicide by slitting his wrists with a razor. He had raped them and stuff before too. They all got so depressed that they became gothic and converted to Satanism. OMFG, I yelled it as I jumped up. Why the fuck are you all here? Annabie, something is really fucked up, Draco said. Okay, but I need to put my fucking clothes on first, I shouted angrily. It's alright, we have to go now and you look kawaii anyway. You're so fucking beautiful, Draco said in a sexy voice. Oh, alright, I said smiling, but you have to tell me why you're being all rective. I will, he said. So I just put on some black eyeliner, black lipstick, and red eyeshadow and white foundation. Then I came. We all went outside the great hall and looked in from a window. A fucking prep called Brittany from Gryffindor was standing next to us. She was wearing a pink mini and a Hilary Duff t-shirt, so we put up our middle fingers at her. Inside the great hall we could see Dumbledore. Cornelia Fudge was there shouting at Dumbledore. Doris Rumbridge was there too. This cannot be, she shouted angrily. The school must be closed. The Bark Lord is planning to kill the students, yelled Cornelia Fudge. You are not fit to be the principal any longer, yelled Rumbridge. You are too old and your Alzheimer's is dangerous. You must retry or Voldemort will kill your students. Very well, Dumbledore said angrily. But we cannot do this. We can't close the school. There's only one person who's capable of killing Voldemort and she is in the school. And her name is... Enemy, Darkness, Dementia, Raven, Way. Draco, Crab, Goyle, Darkness, Willow, Vampire, and Bloody Mary looked at each other. I gasped. Chapter 23. Author's note. To hut the fuck up, because 1. We're just jealous cause I got 10,000 reviews 1. Thanks to Raven for the help in telling me about the books. Girl who rock, let's go shopping together. The door opened and Professor Rumbridge and Cornelia Fudge stomped out angrily. Then Dumbledum and Rumbridge sought us. Mr. Way, what the beep are you doing? Rumbridge shouted angrily. Dumbledore blared at her. Oops, she made a mistake, he corrupted her. She means hi everybody, come in. Well, we all came in angrily. So did all the other students. I sat between Darkness and Draco and opposite Bloody Mary. Crab and Goyle started to make some morbid jokes. They both looked exactly like Vil Volo. I ate some Count Chocula and drank some blood from a cup. Then I heard someone shooting angrily. I looked behind me. It was... Vampire! He and Draco were shooting at each other. Vampire Draco, WTF, I asked. You fucking bastard, yelled Draco at Vampire. I want to shit next to her, 1. No, I do, shouted. No, she doesn't fucking like ooh, you son of a bitch, yelled Draco. No, fuck you, motherfucker. She laves me, not you, shouted Vampire. And then... he jumped on Draco. No, not in that way, you perv. They started to fight and beat up each other. Dumbledore yelled at them, but they didn't stop. All of a sudden, a terrible man with red eyes and no nose flew in on his broomstick. He had no nose and was wearing a gray robe. All the glass in the window he flew through fell apart. Brittany, that fucking prep, started to cry. Vampire and Draco stopped fighting. I stopped eating. Everyone gasped. The room fell silent. Voldemort! Ebony, Darth Vader said evilly in his raspy voice. Thou hast failed our mission. Now I shall kill thou, and I shall kill Vampire as well. If thou does not kill him before, then I shall kill Draco too. Pulls, don't make me kill him, Pulls, I begged. No, he laughed crudely. Kill him or I shall kill him anyway. Then he flew away cackling. I burst into tears. Draco and Vampire came to contort me. Suddenly, my eyes rolled up so they looked all cool and gothic. I had a vision where I saw some lightning flash and then Voldemort coming to kill Draco while Draco slit his wrists in a depressed way. No, I screamed sexily. Suddenly, I locked up and stopped having the vision. Ebony, are you alright? Asked Draco in a worried voice. Yeah, I said sadly as I got up. Everything's alright, Annabie, said Vampire all sensitive. No, it's not, I shouted angrily. Tears of blood went down my face. OMFG, what if I'm getting possessed like in the Ring too? It's okay, girl, said Bloody Mary. Maybe you should ask Professor Sinister about what the visions mean, though. Okay, Bick, I said sadly, and then we went. Chapter 24. Author's note. PREPZ Stop FLAMMING the story. Or just jealous so folk ooh okay go to hell 1-1. Raven fags for the help. Well, we had a deviation next, so I got to ask Professor Trovelry about the visions. Konnichiwa everybody, come in, said Professor Sinister in Japanese. She smiled at me with her gothic black lipstick. She's the coolest fucking teacher ever. She had long dead black hair with blood red tips and red eyes. Her mom was a vampire. She's also half Japanese, so she speaks it and everything. She and Bloody Marie get along great. She's really young for a teacher. Today she was wearing a black leather top with red lace and a long gothic black ripped dress. We went inside the black classroom with Pastor the Family the Strong. I raised my hand. I was wearing some black nail polish with red pentagrams on it. What is it, Ebony? She asked. Hey, I love your nail polish. Where'd you get it? Hot Topic? Yeah, I answered. All the preps who didn't know what HT was gave me weird looks. I gave them the middle finger. Well, I have to talk to you about some things. When do you want to do it? How about now? She asked. Okay, I said. Okay, class fucking dismissed, everyone, Professor Trovelry said, and she let everyone go. Except for you, Brittany. She pointed at Brittany and some other preps. Please do exercise, get it? 1 on page 3. Okay, I'm having lots of visions, I said in a worried voice. I'm so worried, is Draco going to die? Well, she gave me a black crypto bottle lock-in. I looked at it. What do you see? She asked. I said I see a black gothic skull and a pentagram. Suddenly, there was a knock at the door. I looked at it. It was Draco. He was looking really sexy, wearing a black leather facet, a black gothic Linkin Park t-shirt, and black Congress shoes. Okay, you can go now. See ya, cunt, said Professor Sinister. Bye, bitch, I said, waving. I went to Draco and Vampire was sitting next to him. We both followed Draco together and I was so exhibited. Chapter 25. Author's note. Stop flamming, okay? If do not, then I'll tell Justin to bet you up, 1111. Then I'll tell all the nerds to put virtues in our computer, 1111111111. Folk ooh 1. Raven thanks for the help 1. I was so excited. I followed Draco, wondering if we were going to do it again. We went outside and then we went into Draco's black car. Ebony, what the fuck did Professor Trovelry say? Whispered Draco, potting his gothic wit hand with black nail polish on mine. She said she would tell me what the visions meant tomorrow, I grumbled in a sexy voice. He took out a heroin cabaret and spiked it, and gave it to me to spork. He started to fly the car into a tree. We went to the top of it. Draco put on some MCR. And all the things that you never ever told me, and all the smiles that are ever gonna haunt me, sang Gerard's sexy voice. We started tiling off each other's gloves fervently. He took off my black thong and my black leather bar. I took off his black boxers. Then he put his throbbing you-know-what in my tool sexily. OMFG, Draco, Draco, I screamed, having an orgasm. We stated, Frenching passively. Suddenly, I fell asleep. I started having a dream. In it, a black guy was shooting 2 gothic men with long black hair. No, please don't fucking kill us, 1, they pleaded, but he just kept shooting them. He ran away in a red car. No, oh my fucking god, 1-1, I shouted in a scared voice. Ebony, what's wrong? Draco asked me as I woke up, opening my icy blue eyes. I started to cry and tears of blood went down my face. I told Draco to call Vampire. He did it with his black Linkin Park mobile. But the worst thing was who the people who were shot in the dream were. Lucian and Sirius 111. Chapter 26. Author's note. PREPZ Stop FLAMMING story, okay, 1. If you do not like the story, then go fuck yourself, ooh fucking prep. Ooh suck, 111. Oh why, and I wasn't being racist, okay, 11. A few mutates later, Vampire came to the tree. He was wearing a black leather Jackson, black leather pants, and a good Charlotte t-shirt. Hi, Vampire, I said flirtily as I started to sob. Draco hugged me sexily, trying to comfort me. I started to cry tears of blood and then told them what happened. Oh fuck it, Vampire shouted angrily. P4 started to cry sadly. What fucking dick did that? I don't know, I said. Now come on, we have to tell Dumbledore. We ran out of the tree and into the castle. Dumbledore was sitting in his office. "Sire, our dads have been shot," Draco said while we whipped some tears from his white face. "Annabeth had a vision in a dream." Dumbledore started to cackle. "Ha ha ha ha! And how do you expect me to know Ebony's not divisional?" I glared at Dumbledore. "Look, motherfucker," he said angrily as Dumbledore gasped. "See his datutive character? You know very well that I'm not decisional. Now get some fucking people out there to look for Sirius and Lucian. Pornto!" "Okay," he said in an intimidated voice. "Where are they?" I thought about it. Then all of a sudden, "Longden," I said. I told him which street. He went and called some people and did some stuff. After a few mistunes, he came back and said people were going out looking for them. After a while, someone called him again. He said that they had been found. Draco, Vampire, and I all left to our rooms together. I went with Draco to wait in the nurse's office while Vampire went to slit his wrist in his room. We looked at each other's gothic, derperest eyes. Then we kissed. Suddenly, Sirius and Lucian came in on stretchers. And Professor Sinister was behind them one. Chapter 27. Vampires will never hurt you. Author's note. You know what, 1111? I do not give a fuck what you preps think about me, 1111. So stop flamming the fucking story, big ass 1111. Thanks to Raven for oo love and support and help. I love oo, girl. Says I couldn't update lol. I was really depressed and I slit my wrist and I had to go to the hospital. Raven, oo rock, girl. 111111111111111111. Everyone in the room started to cry happily. I had saved them. Draco, Lucian, Sirius, Bond, Vampire all came to hug me. The nurse started to give them medicine. Come on, Annabeth, said Professor Sinatra. She was wearing a gothic black leather dress with a corset top and real vampire blood on it and fucking black platinum boots. I have to tell you the fucking perdition. I looked at Lucian, Sirius, Drake, and Vampire. They nodded. I smiled happily and went into a dark room. I had changed. Professor Sinister took out some black cards. She started to look into a black crucible ball. She said, Tara, I see Drac times are near, she said badly. She peered into the balls. You see, you must go back in time. She took out a time toner like Bloody Mary had. When Voldemort was in Hogwarts before he became powerful, he got his hearth broken. Now, do you think he would still become Voldemort if he was in love? I shook my head. We must go back in time and seduce him. It is the only way. If he is still evil, then you must kill him. You can come to my room tomorrow and you can do it. Okay, I said sadly. We did death's touch sin. I went outside again sadly. What fucking happened? Asked Draco and Vampire. Yeah, what happened? Asked Darkness, Willow, and Bloody Mary. I was about to tell them, but everyone was there. They were celebrating Lucian and Sirius being fond. Everyone was proud of me, but I just wanted to talk to Draco. They were cheesing my name, and some reporters were there trying to interview Dumbledore. A banner was put up. Lots of fucking preps were there, obviously trying to be gothic, wearing the HIM sign on their hands, despite them not having actually heard of him. Even Mr. Norris looked happy. A black and red cake had been brought out. Crab and Goik set up some fireworks in the shape of skulls from Wesley's Wizard Wises. I put on my invisibility cloak with Vampire and Draco, and we sneaked outside together. Chapter 28. Author's note. I said, stop flamming the story. It was a miscat when Professor Rellery said that, okay? 11111111. Go to fucking hell, 1111. Ooh, suck. Thanks to Philly for the help. 1. Raven, have fun with Kiwi, 11111111. We went into a black room. The walls were black with portraits of gothic bands like MCR, GC, and Marilyn Manson all over them. A big black coffin was in the middle. Red velvet lined the black box. There were 3 chairs made of bones with real skulls in them. I was wearing a black corset bar with purple stuff on it, fishnet stockings, and a black leather thong underneath. I sat down one of the chairs desperately. So did Draco and Vampire. Are you okay, Vampire asked, potting his alabaster hand on mine. He was wearing black nail polish. I was wearing black nail polish with red crosses on it. Yeah, I guess, I said sadly. Draco also put his hand on mine sexily. I smiled sadly with my black lipstick. The problem is, I have to seduce Voldemort. He'll have to go back in time. Draco started to cry sadly. Vampire hugged him. It's okay, Abba B, he said finally. Well, what about me? We're not gonna break up or anything, are you? Of course not, I gasped. Really, he asked. Sure, I said. We Frenched sexily. Vampire looked at us longingly. Then, I took off Draco's MCR shrift and seductively took off his pants. He was hugging like a Stallone. He had replaced the vampire tattoo that said Annabelle on it. Black roses were around it. I gasped. He looked exactly like Gerard Way. Vampire took a video camera. I had said it was okay before. I took off my clothes, then we were in for the rid of our lift. We started fretching as we climbed into the coffin. He put a Spock in my you-know-what, and passively we did it. I love you, Abba B. Oh, let me feel you. I need to feel you, he screamed as we got an orgasm. We watched Vampire filmed everything perfectly. Suddenly... What the fuck are you doing? It was... Snope and Professor McGoggle 111. Chapter 29. Author's note. Shut das fuck up 11. We're just jealous cause we're prep, so fuck ooh 1111. Raven, ooh rock girl, thanks for the help. MCR rock 666 11111111111. Oh my Satan one, we screamed as we jumped out of the coffin. Snap and Professor McGonagall started to shoot at us angrily. Come now, one, Preacher McGonagall yielded. We did guiltily. We left the room putting on our clothes. Snoop garbed the caramel and put it in his pocket. Hey, what the fuck? Vampire shooted angrily. Yeah, Buster, what the fuck are we going to do with a fucking camera? Draco demanded, all protective, looking at me longingly with his gothic red eyes. Look, Dumbledore knows your little secret, and if we do this again, then we'll go to St. Mango's. So give back the camera, 1111. Ha 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 ha. The mystery of magic thinks he's crazy. There is no way they will believe him, Snoop laughed meanly. Yeah, so shut your mouth, you innocent fools, yelled Professor McGonagall. She made us come into a weird room with white stones all around it. There were all these weirded tools in it. Draco started to cry, all sexy and sexative. Get it? Cause he's a sex bomb, lol. Tom Felnut rules for lift, but not as much as Gerard. Ooh, sex on legs. I love ooh full king rock. Marry me, 111. I started to cry tears of blood. It happens in Vampire Chronicles. Raven said so, okay, so fuck ooh, one. Vampire took out a black handkerchief and started to wipe my red eyes. And then, he and Snoop both took out guns using magic. They started to shoot each other angrily. None of the ballots got on each other yet. I took out my wand. Crucio, I shouted. Snape stated to scram. He dropped the gun, but it was too late. Both of them had run out of ballots. I stopped the curse! Professor McGonagall did a spell so that we were all chained up. She took out a box of tools. Then she said, Okay, Severus, I'm going to go now. She left. Snap started to laugh evilly. Vampire started to cry. It's okay, Annabelle, said Draco. Evergreen will be alright. Remember the city who took of Snake? Snape laughed again. And then, he took out some whips. 1111. Chapter 30. Author's note. Stop flaming the story, okay? We do not know what's even gonna happen, okay? 1111. So full 111. If we flam, it will be a prep so all flamers can kiss my ass, 111. Sauce for saying Alzheimer's is dangerous, but that's the mystery's opinion, cause society basically sucks. Thanks to Raven, rock Bick, 111. No, 11, we screamed sadly. Snap stated loafing meanly. He took out a camera angrily. Then, he came towards Darko 1. He took some stones out of his pocket. He put the stones around Draco and lit a candle. What the fuck are you doing? I shouted angrily. Snoop laughed meanly. He pulled down his pants. I gasped. There was a dork mark on his you-know-what, 11. He waved his wand and a knife came. He gave the knife to me. You must stab Vampire, he said to me. If you don't, then I'll rap Draco 1. No, you fucking bastard 1, I yielded. But then Draco looked at me sadly with his evil gothic red eyes that looked so depressant and sexy. He looked exactly like a pentagram. LOL, get it? Cause I'm a Satanist? Between Kurt Cobain and Gerard. But then I looked at Vampire and he looked so smexy too with his gothic black hair. I thought of the time when we screwed, and the time that I did it with Draco and Dumbledore came, and the time where Draco almost committed suicide and Vampire was so sportive. Snape laughed angrily. He started to pray to Voldemort. He started to do an incapitation, dancing around the Stokes, whipping Draco and Vampire. Suddenly, an idea I had. I closed my eyes, and using my vampire powers, I sent a telepathic message to Draco and Vampire so they would destruct Snape. Dumbledore will get ooh, Draco shooted. Yeah, just wait up till the mystery find out, 1-1, Vampire yelled. Meanwhile, I took out my wand. You ridiculous dunderhead, 111, Snoop yielded. He took off all of Draco's clothes, just as he was about to rape him. Crucio, I shitted, pointing my wound. Snoop screamed and started running around the room screaming. Meanwhile, I grabbed my black mobile and sent a text to Sirius. I stopped doing Crucio. Udunderhead, 111. I'm going to kill, shooted Snape, but suddenly Cerberus came. Snape put the whip behind his back. Oh, hello, Sev. I was just teaching them something, he lied. But suddenly, Lucian and Professor Trevelry came into the room, and they and Sirius unlocked the chains and put them around Snap. Then Professor Trevelry said, Come on, Ebony, it's time to go. Chapter 31. Author's note. I said shut the fuck up, you queefs, 111. Stop killing Ebony and Mary Sue, okay? You do not even know what's going to happen, okay? So fuck ooh, 1111. Thanks to my BFF Raven for the help, 1111. I always knew you were on Voldemort's side, you son of a Bicta, Buffy rocks, 111, Sirius said to Snape. No, I'm not, I was teaching them something, one Snap claimed. Oh fucking yeah? I took some black Voldemort serum out of my pocket and gave it to Cerberus. He made Snap drink it. He did angrily. Then Lucius took out a tape recorder and started playing it while he did curses on Snap. Then Professor Sinister and Lucian made us get out with them while Snape told his secreties. Lucian took Vampire and Draco to the nurse after thanking me 1,000,000 times. Professor Trevelry took me to a dark room. Now I was going to go back in time to seduce Voldemort. Moving posters of MCR and Nirvana were all over. Hermione, Darkness, and Willow came too. Bloody Mary gave me a black bag from Tom Ridd's store. What's in the bag? I asked Professor Trevelry. Ooh, we'll see, she said. I opened the bag. In it was a sexy, tight, low, smut black leather gothic dress. It had red corset stuff and there was a slit up the leg. I put it on. My friends helped me put on black fishnets and black pointy boots Willow had chosen. Willow and Darkness helped me put on black eyeliner and blood red lipstick. You look fucking kawaii, bitch, Bloody Mary said. Fangs, I said. Okay, now you're going to go back in Tim, said Professor Sinister. We'll have to do it in a few sessions. She gave me a black gun. I put it in a strap on my fishnets like in Red is Not Evil. Then she gave me a black time tuner. After an hour, use the time tuner to go back here, Professor Trevelry said. Then she and Bloody Mary put a pensive in front of me. Everyone went in front of it. Good luck, one, everyone shooted. Darkness and Willow gave me Death's Touch Sin. Then I jumped sexily into the pensive. Suddenly, I was in front of the school. In front of me was one of the sexiest goth guys I had ever seen. He was wearing long black hair, kinda like Mikey Way, only black. He had grin eyes like Billy Joe Armstrong and pale wet skin. He was wearing a black ripped-up suit with fans. It was Tom Bombadil 1111. Chapter 32. Author's note. I said stop flaming. I know his name isn't Tom Bodil. That was a mistake 1111. If you do not like the story, then you can go screw yourself 1111. Ooh, suck 111111. Hi, I said flirtily. I'm Annabie Wade, the new student. I shook my pale hands with their black nail polish with him. The name's Tom, he said, but you can call me Satan. That's my middle name. We shook hands. Well, come on, we have to go upstairs, Satan said. I followed him. Hey, Satan, do you happen to be a fan of Grande, since MCR and Evanescence don't exist yet then? I asked. Oh my fucking god, how did you know? Satan gasped. Actually, I like GC a lot too. Get it? Cause GC did that song, I Just Wanna Live, that sounded really 80s. OMG, me too, I replied happily. Guess what? They have a concert in Hogsmeade, Satan whispered. Hogsmeade, I asked. Yeah, that's what they used to call it in these time before it became Hogsmeade in 2000, he told me all secretively. And there's a really cool shop called Hot Topic, I finished, happy again. He frowned confusedly. No, it's called Hot Issue, he smiled skirtfully again. Then in 1998, they changed it to Hot Topic, he moaned. Oh, now everything was making sense for me. So is Dumbledore your principal? I shouted. Uh-huh. He looked at his black nails. I'm in Slytherin. OMFG, me too, I shrieked kid. Ooh, go to the skull? Get it, 'cause I'm Gothic, he asked. Yeah, that's why I'm here. I am new, I smelled happily. Suddenly, Dumbledore flew in on his broomstick and started shredding at us angrily. No talking in the halls! He had short blonde hair and was wearing a polo shirt from American Eagle Outfitters. Stupid goths! Satan rolled his eyes. He's so mean to us goths and punks just because we're in Slytherin and we're not preps. I turned around angrily. Actually, I think maybe it's because we're the Bark Lord. WTF, he asked angrily. Oh, nothing, I said sweetly. Then suddenly, the floor opened. OMFG, no, I screamed as I fell down. Everyone looked at me weirdly. Hey, where are we going? Satan asked as I fell. I got out of the hole and it was back in the pensive in Professor Travelry's classroom. Dumbledore was there. Dumbledore, I think I just met you, I said. Oh yeah, I remember that, Dumbledore said, trying to be all Gothic. Sinister came in. Hey, this is my classroom. Wait, WTF, Annabelle, what the hell are you doing? I looked at her. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. WTH, how? I screamed, forgetting she was a teacher for a second, but she's a goth, so it's okay. Professor Sinister looked sad. I was drinking Voldemort's serum. She started to cry black tears of depression. Dumbledore didn't know about them. Hey, are you crying tears of blood? He asked curiously, touching a tear. Fuck off, we both said, and Dumbledore took his hand away. Professor Sinister started crying again in her chair, sobbing limpid tears. OMFG, Annabelle. I think I'm addicted to Voldemort's serum. Author's note. See you fucking preps, go folk or sulks. That's Sirius Issus to go to hell. 11111112. Chapter 33. Author's note. I said shut up, it's not my fault, okay? If you don't like the story, then or a prep, so fuck ooh flamers 1111. P.S. I'm not updating up till you give me 5 God reviews, and this time I meant it 111111. Ooh suck 1111. Thanks Raven for the help, I'll promise to help you if your story rolls one. Oh my fucking god, one, I shooted sadly. Should we get you to St. Mango's bitch? Hell no, she said. Listen, Agogi, I need your help. Next time you go back in time, do you think you could ask Tom Anderson for some help? Sure, I said sadly. I went outside the door. Draco was there, 111. He was wearing a big black GC t-shirt which was his Panamas. Hey, sexy, I said. How did it go, Annabelle? He asked, and his voice was so sexy and low, kinda like Gerard Way when he's talking. Fine, I responded. We stared to go back into the dorm. How far did you go with Satan? Draco asked jealously. Not too far, lol, I borked. Will you have to do it with him? Draco asked angstily. I hope not too far, 111, I shouted angrily. Then I felt bad for shooting at him. I said sorry. We Frenched. What happened to Snape? I growled. We will see, Draco giggled mistressly. He opened a door. Snap and Lumpkin were there, 1-1. Sirius was poking them by staging them with a black knife. No, pulls, 1111, Lumpkin bagged as Sirius started to suck his blood. I laughed statistically. I talked some photons of him and Snap being torqued. Okay, I know this is men, but think about it, people, they are pedos, and Snap tried to rap them, and anyway, Sadist rocked. Has anyone seen Shrek Attack 3, lols? We took some of Snape's blood, then Draco and I went back to our rooms. We sat on my gothic black coffin. My clothes were kinda dirty, so I put on a black leather outfit thingy kinda like the one Celine has in Underworld. If you haven't heard of it, then fuck ooh 111. I put on some black platform high heels. Darko put on Desolation Livers by MCR. Then we started to take off each other's clothes. I talk of his shit and he had a sex pack, lols. We started to make out like in The Grudge. He put his wetness in my Uno what sexily. I got an orgy. Oh, Draco! 11111111. Oh me fucking god, Draco! 1111. I screamed passively as he got an erection. I love Uta Abari, he whispered sexily, and then we fell asleep, lol. Chapter 34. Author's Note. Shut the fuck up, PREPZ 1111. Have you ever read the story 11? We are probably all just preps and posers, so fuck 111. Thanks to Raven for the help 1. I woke up in the coffin the next day. Draco was gone. I got up and put on a black tight sexy dress that was all ripped at the end. There was red corset stuff going up the front and the back, and it came up to my knees. There was a slit in the dress like in Mr. and Mr. Simph. I put on ripped black fishnets and black Stilton boots. Suddenly, Sorius cocked on the door. I opened it. Hi, Benny, he said. Guess what? You have to come to Professor Sinister's office. Okay, I said in a depressed voice. I had wanted to fook Draco or maybe listen to MCR or Evanescence. I came anyway. So what the fuck happened to Snipe and Lupin? I asked Sorius flirtily. I fucking tortured them, he answered in a statistic way. They are an Abkhazian now, lol. I laughed evilly. Where are Draco and Vampira? I muttered. They are excused from school today, sodomized moans sexily. Right now they are watching The Nightmare Before Xmas. We went into the office. Professor Sinister was there. She was wearing a gothic black dress that was all ripped all over it, kinda like the one Amy Lee wears in this pic. HTTP, she was drinking some Volxamort serum. She took out the pensive and the time turner. Ennaby, you will have to do another session now. Also, I need you to get me the cure for being addicted, she said sadly. Good luck, thanks. And then, I jumped into the pensive again. Suddenly, I looked around. I was in the great hall eating Count Chorkula. It was morning. I was sitting next to Satan. On a table was a tall gothic man with long black hair, pale skin, and blue eyes, wearing a suit and black Converse shoes. He looked just like Sherilyn Manson. I noticed. He was drinking a portent. Who's he, 11? I asked. Oh, that's Professor Slutborn, Satan said. He's the portents teacher. Ebony? Yeah, I asked. Did you know that Marilyn Mason is playing in Hogsmeade tonight? And they are showing The Exorcist at the movies before that. Yeah? Well, want to go to the contort and the movie with me? Chapter 35. Ghost of Ooh. Author's Note. Thanks to Susie for the idea 1. Ooh, rock. Fuck off, PREPZ 11111111. Thanks to Raven for the help. Ooh, rock, girl 1. P.S. I'm going to end the story really soon, so fuck 111. Oh yeah, and if you know any gothic names, please tell me cause I need one for serious. Thanks. I went into the conman room thinking of Satan. Suddenly, I gasped. Draco was there, 111. I grasped. He looked as hot as ever, wearing black leather pants, a black Lonkin Prack t-shirt, and black eyeliner. Draco, what the fuck are you doing, 111111? I gasped. Huh? He asked. Then I remembered. It wasn't Draco. It was Lucian 1. He still had 2 arms. Oh, hi, Lucian 1, I said. I'm Ebony, the new student, lol. We shook hands. Yeah, Satan told me about you, Lucian said. He pointed to a group of sexy gothic guys. They were sitting in a corner cutting. It was Sirius, Vampire's dad, and... Snap! All of them were wearing black eyeliner and black Good Tralut band shirts. Listen, I'm in a goth band with those guys, he said. We're playing tonight at the Marilyn Mason show as backup. Orly, I asked. Yeah, he said. We're called X Black X Tier X. I play tech guitar. Spartacus plays the drums, he said, pointing to him. Snap plays the bass, and James plays the guitar even though we call him Samara after Samara in The Ring. Hey bastards, I told them. They gave me Death's Touch Sin. Suddenly, I gasped again. But don't you have a lead singer, I asked? Lucian looked Dawn sadly. We used to, but she did. She attempted suicide by slitting her wrists. Oh my fucking god, 11. That's so fucking sad, 1, I gasped. It's okay, but we need a new lead snicker, Samara said. Well, I said I'm in a banana myself. Really, asked Snap. I couldn't believe it. He used to be Gothic 111. Yeah, we're called Bloody Gothic Rose 666. Do you want to hear me sing? Yeah, said everyone. So the guys took out their guitars. They began to play a song by, get it? Cause by guys are so sexa 11. Gurn Day. I walked this empty street on the boulevard of broken drums, I sang sexily. I did not own the lyrics to that song. Everyone gasped. NFB, will you join the band? Polls, one begged Lucian, Samara, Sirius, and Snap. Okay, I shrugged. Are we going to play tonight? Yeah, they said. Okay, I said, but I knew that I had to get a new outfit. I walked outside wondering how I could go forward in time. Suddenly, someone jumped in front of me. It was Marty McFly one. He was wearing a black banana t-shirt and black baggy jeans. What the hell are oo doing here, One, I asked. I will help oo go Froad and Tim Ebony, he said seriously. Then, he took out a black Tim machine. I went into it and suddenly I was forward in Tim 111. Chapter 36. Author's note. I said stop flaming, okay? 111111111. I bet you are all probably old 70-year-olds 111. P.S. Porter says you are a prep one. Oh yeah, and thanks to Raven for the help 111. Have fun in England, girl 11111. I looked around in a depressed way. Suddenly, I saw Professor Sinister, Bloody Mary, Socrates, and Draco, Vampire, and Willow were there too. OMFG, Sorius, I saw Oo and Samaro and Snip and everyone 11111. I can't believe Snap oos to be Gothic 11111. Yeah, I know, Sirius said sadly. Oh hey there, bitch, Professor Trovelry said in an emo voice, drinking some Volksamort serum. Hi, fucker, I said. Listen, Satan asked me out to a Gothic cornet and a movie, so I need a sexy new outfit for the date. Also, I'm playing in a Gothic band, so I need an outfit for that too. Oh my Satan one! Get it, lols, cause she's Gothic? Gasped Bloody Mary. Want to go to Hot Topic to shop for her outfit? OMFS, let's have a group cutting session 1-1, said Professor Trovelry. I can't fucking wait for that, but we need to get some stuff first, said Willow. Yeah, we need some portions for Professor Trovelry so she won't be addicted to Volksamort serum anymore, and also some love potion for Anabi, Darko said resultantly. Well, we have potions class now, Willow said, so let's go. We went sexily to potions class, but Snap wasn't there. Instead, there was Cornelio, fuck 11111. Hey, where the fuck is Dumbledore 111? Draco shouted angrily. STFU one, shooted Cornelia, fuck. He is an Azkaban now with Snip and Lupin. He is old and weak. He has cancer. Now do our work, 111. My friends and I talked angrily. Can you believe Snap used to be Gothic? One vampire asked surprisedly. That's it, 1-1. Cornelia fuck shooted angrily. I'm getting Professor Bridge, 111. He stomped out angrily. My friends and I began talking again. I began to drink some blood mixed with beer. Suddenly I saw Hagrid in the cupboard. WTF is he doing? I asked. Then I looked at Draco. He was wearing tons of eyeliner and he looked sexier than ever. Suddenly, Hagrid, what the fuck are you doing, 1-1? He shooted. I looked around. Hagrid was putting something in my glass of blood, 1-1. Darko and Vampire started to beat him up sexily. God, you are such a poser, 1, I shooted at Hagrid. Suddenly I looked at what he was putting in the blood. It was amnesia portion 111. Chapter 37. Author's note. Okay everybody, I'm going on vacation on the 1st of July, so I'm either gonna end the fic or update it in weeks. Fangs 1. Oh yeah, and PREPZ Stop FLAMMING sa story 1-1. Raven, thanks for the help. See ya girl after vocation 1-1. Darko's point of view, lol. Vampire and I chained Hagrid to the floor. Oh me fucking Satan 1-1, Annabelle said. She was so hot. Maybe I could ooze amnesia potion to make Satan fall in love with me faster, 1. But you're so sexy and wonderful anyway, Tata, said Vampire. Why would you need it? To make everything go faster, lol, said Annabelle. But you won't have to do it with him or anything, will you? I asked jealously. OMFG, you guys are so scary, 1-1, said Brittany, a fucking prep. Shut the fuck up, 1, said Willow. Okay, well anyway, let's go to Professor Trovelry's room. Draco, Ebery, and I went to Professor Sinister's room, but Professor Sinister wasn't there. Instead, Tom Ridd was. Oh, hi fuckers, he said. Listen, I got you some cool new clothes. I took out the clothes from the bag. It was a gothic black leather miniskirt that said 666 on the back, black Stilton boots, blood red fishnets, and a black corset. OMG Fangs, I said, hugging him in a gothic way. I took the clothes in the bag. Okay, Professor Sinister isn't here, what the fuck should we do? Asked Draco. Suddenly, he looked at a sign on the black wall. Oh my fucking Satan one, I screamed as I read it. On it said, everyone, Professor Sinister is away. She is too gothic, she is in Azkaban now. Classes shall be taught by Dumbledore, who is back, but he shall not be principal for now. Sincerely, Professor Rumbridge. OMFG 111, I shouted angrily. How could they do that, 1-1? Suddenly, Dumbledore came. What the hell are you doing in my office, one? He began to shoot angrily. Suddenly, I saw Morty McFly's black Tim machine, 111. I jumped seductively into it, leaving Draco and Vampire. Suddenly, I was back in Tim 1-1. I looked around. It was Professor Slutborn's office. I sneaked around. Suddenly, I saw the amnesia potion on his desk. It was black with blood red pentagrams in it. It was the shape of a cross. I put it in my pocket. Suddenly, the door opened. It was Professor Slutgorn 1-1. OMG, what are you doing, fucker? He shouted angrily. I don't know what the fuck are you doing, I shouted angrily. Oh, sorry, I was just looking around because I thought it was class, you said finally, hoping he couldn't see the potion in your pocket. Oh, okay, you can go now, said Professor Slutborn. You went to the condiment room after putting on my clothes. Silas, Samaro, and Snap were there practicing Vampires Will Never Hurt You by MCR. Oh, hi, you guys, I said seductively. Where's Satan? Oh, he's coming, said Sirius. BTW, you can call me Hades now. Suddenly, Satan came. He was wearing a smaxy black leather Jackson, black Converse shoes, a Slipknot t-shirt, and a black tie. Okay, I will see you guys at the concert, I said, and then I went with Satan. Chapter 38. Author's note. What does everyone think if I end a story and then I add some more to it after vocation? Oh yeah, as in PREPZ STOP FLAMMING. If you do not like that story, then take my quiz, okay? Then we will see if we're gothic or not. 1111111. Satan and I walked to his car. It was a black car with pentagrams all over it. On the license plate said 666, just like Draco's car. I went in it seductively. Stan started to drive it. We talked about Satanism, LOLs, he was named after Satan, cutting, music, and being gothic. Oh my Satan, Gerard is so fucking hot, 1-1, Voldemort agreed as we smoked some weed. Cause bi guys are so hot, they are so sensitive, I love them, LOL, goes fucks a bi guy. LOL, I totally decided not to commit suicide when I heard Helena, I said in a flirty voice. Hey Satan, do you know the cure for when people are addicted to Voldemort serum? Well, he thought, I think you have to drink vampire blood. Suddenly, Voldemort parked the car behind a black movie theater. Satan and I walked outside. We went into the movie theater where they were showing The Exorcist. In it, a boy and a girl were doing it. Suddenly, a serial killer came, LOL. Satan and I laughed at the blood cause we're sadists. While Satan was watching the movie, I had an idea. I took Satan's gothic black Nightmare Before Christmas cigar sexily from his pocket and put some amnesia potion in it. I put it back in his black Emil the Strange bag. Satan turned around and started to smoke it. Black clouds with red pentagrams in them started to fly around everywhere. OMG 111, Satan said, jumping up. I gasped because I was afraid he'd noticed. Annabee, guess what? I knew that the amnesia had worked. Amnesia potion has not been invented yet, so it will not work, he said. Too bad because I wanted to use some on ooh. Cool, I raised my eye suggestingly. And then he took off my clothes sexily and we started to make out. I talk of his shit. He had a six-pack just like Gerard Way, 1-1. We Frenched. Excuse me, but we're going to have to leave, 111, shouted the lady behind us. She was a prep. Fook ooh, 1-1, I said. Suddenly, I attacked her, sucking all her blood. No, 1-1, she screamed. All the preps in the theater screamed, but everyone else crapped because Satan and I looked so cute together. Satan and I started to walk outside. ZOMG, how did you do that? Voldemort asked in a turned-on voice. I'm a vampire, I said as we went to the car. Seriously, he gasped. Yeah, seriously, I said, drinking some beer. Satan started to drive the car. I smelled happily. It's too bad we didn't get to see the rest of the movie, don't you think? Yeah, I said as we kissed passively. Satan parked in a black driveway next to the place where Draco and I had watched GC for the first time. We went inside where Marilyn Mason was playing and started to mosh, lol. Auntie Pipple, now you've gone too far. Zeus Christ Superstar 1111, screamed Marlon on the stage. We did the devil fingers. I started to dance really close to Satan. He was so schmexe one. He looked at me all emo with his gothic red eyes, and he looked exactly like Mikey Way. I almost got an orgasm. 1. Suddenly, Marilyn Mason stopped singing. I would like to peasant. X Black X T-Rex 11, he said. I ran on stage. Lucian, Samaro, Snap, and Hades were there. They started to play their instruments. I got on Stog. My voice sounded like a pentagram between Amy Lee and a girl version of Gerard Roy. Everyone clapped. Satan got an eructation. I'm not okay, 1, I sang finally. Suddenly, Lucian started playing the song wrong by mistake. OMFG 1, yielded James. What the fuck? Whoops, I'm sorry, said Lucian. You fucking asshole 1, James shouted angrily. You guys are such preps 11, Snap said. Come on, it was a mistake 1. Yeah, it's not his fault 11, said Sirius. No, he ruined the fucking song 1, yelled Samaro. You guys stop 11, I shouted angrily, but it was too late. They all began to fight. Suddenly, Samaro took out his knife. OMFG, no, 11, shouted Lucian, but it was too late. James tried to shoot off his arms, and then I jumped sexily in front of the bullet 11. No, 111, yielded everyone, but it was too late. Suddenly, everything went black. Chapter 39. I am a trolling genius, lols. Disclaimer, I do not own the HP series, and I am not the real Bloody Wrist 666. Author's note. I am an extremely immature, pathetic idiot girl, I know. Out of boredom, I crack this girl's passy for fun, and it took less than 8 minutes to do it, too. And will probably get in a shitload of trouble, which I probably deserve because I'm being a troll right now. Meh. And I present to you my crappy part in this story, and take note I haven't finished reading this fic yet, but instead skip over to skim page 38. Flame, laugh, do whatever you want, preps! I, the American retail-wearing British vampire Sue, coughed up blood. Satan kneeled down beside me. No, don't die! I gave him a rueful smile. I'm sorry. It's something I had to do, to fulfill my duty as the noble Gothic Mary Sue. Satan sobbed. I love you, Ebony. I love you too. I'll see you in hell, I mumbled, already finding my surroundings fading to black. Bloody Mary Smith suddenly popped into the room for no apparent reason. She frowned when she realized the room was oddly quiet, but at the sight of Ebony's lifeless body, she screamed. Her face became pale with horror. She screamed for the healers, Dumbledore, McGoogle, and every single Gothic person she could think of. Suddenly, a glow started to surround the body of Ebony. Everyone stared in shock. Her body started to lift ever so slowly, and then, to everyone's shock, it started to incinerate. When everyone realized what was happening, they rushed over to try and rescue the body, but it was too late. The Sioux became nothing more than a pile of ashes. A loud resounding of everyone bellowing, "No!" filled the room. A flash of white light from the ashes then started to bounce around the room. Everyone cowered in fear and were temporarily blinded. When it was all over, things changed. All the silly goth clothes dropped from everyone's bodies. Author's note, I will refuse to explain how the hell that happened. And in their place, clothes that characters would normally wear in canon appeared on their bodies. When everyone got over the shock of becoming free of the Gothic power, everybody cheered. Everyone started singing Ding Dong, the Sioux is dead. Well, that is, until all the HP characters realized the true implications of becoming more canon-like again. All the characters who were supposed to be dead fell to the floor, their bodies cold and lifeless. Harry and Voldemort started dueling. On the left side of the two, the battle of the light side and the dark side were reaching a climax, and because the replacement author also likes to screw around with canon, Draco and Hermione fled the scene and got married. Meanwhile, down in hell, Ebony shed a single tear because of her current situation. a situation that would live on for all eternity, or at least until the end of fanfiction time. She lost it all, but she knew she had to remain strong. Nothing would ever break her down. She looked down over her pale body and frowned. "Where are my emo clothes?" she asked herself in confusion. And then it occurred to her. For her shirt, she was wearing a bright pink polo with a little seagull on the right or left, I can't remember, side. Below that, she was wearing a denim miniskirt with the destroyed look on it. Paired underneath that skirt were leggings with a little moose at the bottom. And then, Ebony realized, on her shoulder, she was carrying a pretty bag with an eagle on it that said "Live Your Life" written all over the bag. Ebony suppressed the urge to scream. Here she was decked out in clothes prepped to the extreme, wearing stuff from Abercrombie & Fitch, American Eagle, and Hollister. Panicked, Ebony hastily tried to take off the Hollister polo, but underneath it, there was another Hollister polo underneath. Ebony frowned and looked under her shirt. All she saw was a bra underneath. Dare I point out that it's from the Aerie line available at American Eagle? Ebony tried to remove the shirt again, but to her frustration, there was yet another polo to replace it. "This is unlogical and does not make any sense," Ebony bellowed out to the air. She failed to see the irony in her statement, how hypocritical her words were, seeing as she was practically calling the kettle black here. Ebony slit her wrists and mumbled to herself, "Oh my god!" And crap fic. Sincerely, an author who will silently not reveal her identity because she's a coward, aka just a troll with rocks for brains. Chapter 40. LOL, someone has taken my account over. Author's note. STFU preps get a lift 111111. Ooh suck 11. Oh, and from now on, it'll be in vacation in England until like August, so I won't be able to update for a while, LOLs. Thanks to everyone who revoted except the preps who flamed Folk Ooh 1. MCR Rule 666111. I woke up in the nurse's office on a special gothic coffin. Haregood was in the bed opposite to me in a coma cause Vampire and Draco had bet him up. Mr. Norris was cleaning the room. "Oh me Satan, what happened?" I screamed. Suddenly, Voldemort came. He looked less mean than usual. "Get the fuck out, you fucking bastard, 1-1, I yielded. "Thou hast not killed a vampire yet, 1-1, he said angrily. Suddenly, he started to cry tears of blood, all selective. "Voldemort? OMFG, what's wrong, 1-1-1, I asked. Suddenly, Lucian, Professor Sinister, and Sirius came. Bloody Mary and Vampire were with them. Everyone was holding black boxes. Voldemort disappeared! OMFG, Ebony, we're alive, 1-1-1, screamed Vampire. I hugged him and Bloody Mary. "What the fuck happened?" I asked them. "Oh my Satan, 1-1, am I like dead now?" I gasped. "Annabie, were almost shot, 1-1, said Sirius, but the bullet could not kill oo since were from another time. "But fangs anyway, 1, said Lucian, holding oot his arm. I gasped. He had 2 arms. "OMG, I can't believe Vampire's dad shot oo 1, I gasped. "Well, to be honest, Snap was possessed by Snap back then, said James. "Yeah, he was a spy," Sirius said sadly. "He was really a death dealer. And he was such a fucking poser too, 1-1, said Lucian. "He didn't even really know who GC were until I told him. Well, anyway, everyone started to give me presents. I was opening a black box with red 666s. There was a DVD of Corpse Bride on it when I gasped. Mr. Norris looked up angrily because he hated goths. "Hey, has anyone fucking seen Draco?" I asked gothically. "No, Draco told me he would be watching Hose of Wax at Professor Travelry. He doesn't know that we're better. Anyway, the Norse said we could get up. Come on, 1. I got up suicidally. Lucian, Sirius, and Professor Sinister left. I was wearing a black leather nightgown. Under that, I had on a sexy black leather bra trimmed with black lace, with a matching thong that said Gothic Girl on the butt and sexy fishnets that kinda hooked onto my thong. If you don't get the idea, message me and it'll tell oo. I put on a black fishnet top under a black MCR t-shirt, a black leather mini with black lace and Congress shoes. I left the hospital's wings with Bloody Mary, Willow, and Vampire. "OMFG, let's celebrate, 1-1, gasped Willow. "We can go see Hose of Wax with Draco, 1, giggled Vampire. "Let's go listen to GC and cut ourselves, 666, 1-1, said Hermione. We opened the common room door sexily, and then I I gasped. Draco was there doing it with snap 111111111111111111111111111111111111111111111111111111111111111111111111111111111111111. He was wearing a black t-shirt with 666 on the front and baggy jeans. Ooh, fucking prep 11, we all yielded angrily. Yeah, ooh, betrayed us 111, shooted Vampire angrily as he took out his black gun. No, ooh, don't understand one, screamed Draco sadly as he took his thingy out of snakes. No shit, ooh, fucking suck, ooh, preppy bastard 111, said Willow, trying to attack him. Ooh, rock girl 1. I ran suicidally to my room and I sexily took a stake out. Annabee, no! 11111, screamed Draco, but it was too late. I had slit my wrist with it. Suddenly everything went black again. Chapter 41. Author's note. To everyone who keeps flaming this, get to sliff. I bet you probably I didn't know who Gerard Way is, or probably all preps and posers 11111. Anyway, someone hacked into me account in November and they put up my last chapter, but now there is a new one. I'm sorry for not updating G4 in a while, but I've been really busy. I'm trying to finish the story before the new movie comes out. I'm going on vacation for a month. I won't be back until about 2 weeks. OMFG, Draco is so hot in all the pics for the new movie 111. I wanted them to put a cameo by Gerard Way, lol, he said play Draco. If you flame, I'll slit Maris 11. Raven ooh rock girl, have fun in England. When I woke up, I was in a strange room. I looked around. I was wearing the same outfit I had when I performed with X Black X T-Rex 11. I looked around confusedly. I was at the nurse's office, but it looked different. On the wall was a pic of Marilyn Manson 1111. Just imagine that he is an 80s gothic band too, okay, cause he is more old than Panic at the Disco or MCR. There was also a gothic black Beatles calendar with a picture of the Beatles wearing eyeliner and black clothes. On it said 1980. OMG, I'm back in Tim again, 111, I screamed loudly. Suddenly, Satan, this is actually Voldemort for photo references. Voldemort was wearing a black leather jacket, black tight jeans, and fishnet pants. He looked so sexy, I almost had an orgy, 11. OMFG, Annabee, are you okay? He asked gothically. Yeah, I'm okay for your information, I snapped sexily. OMG, am I dead? Because I remembered I had jumped in front of the bullet from James' gun. I also remembered seeing Draco doing it with Snap 111. I guessed that when I had slit me wrist, I had went back in Tim instead of dying. I know I could go forward in time if I found a time toner or a Tim machine. No, we're not dead, Satan reassured suicidally as he smoked a cigarette sexily and smoke came all over his face. We're a vampire, so you can't die from a bullet. Come on now, let's go see how Harry's dad is doing. I knew that the real reason I didn't die from the ballot was cause I was from the future. WTF, James almost shot Lucius, I said indigally. I knew that James had really been possessed, but I didn't want him to know I knew. Yeah, I know, but he had a headache. He was under a lot of stress, Satan reasoned evilly. I guess that's okay, I said, because James hadn't really shot Lucian. Also, I knew that Lucian would now have 2 arms instead of 1. I walked seductively outside with Satan. Suddenly, I saw a totally sexy gothic bi guy 11. He had bleached blonde hair with black streaks up to his ears and he was wearing gothic black eyeliner, a black Green Day shirt, it showed Billy Joel with blonde hair since it was the 80s, black Converse shoes and black baggy pants. He walked in all sexily like Gerard Way in the video for I Don't Three You Lick I did yesterday, and you could see a black tear on his face like the woman in that video. Hey, he said all quietly and gothically. Who the fuck is that? I asked angrily because I did not know him. This is Hedwig, one said Voldemort. He used to be an X-Black X T-Rex too, but he had to drop out because he broke his arm. Hey, Hedwig, I said seductively, even though I was not trained to be. LOL, hi Annabee, he answered, but then he ran away because he had hair of magical creature. He was humming Welcome to the Black Parade under his breath. I know that is not 80s, but pretend it is, okay? Bye, I said all sexily. That was Hedwig. He used to be my boyfriend, but we broke up, Satan said sadly, looking at his black nails. OMFG, I can get you back together, I said, fingering something I didn't know was in my pocket. A black cute is what we aim for, Cydio iPod that I could take videos with. Does anyone else know about them? They kick ass! Okay, you can forget about our class for now, Hedwig. I'm going to show you something great one. I led them to the great hall. Come on, you guys! Lucian, James, Sirius, and Snake were all in the great hall. Lucian wouldn't talk with James because he had tried to shoot him. Go fuck yourself, you fucking douche, he shouted at him. Draco's never going to be friends with Vampire now one. Yeah, go fuck yourself, Samaro, Snape agreed, but I knew he was lying because it had been his fault James had almost shot Lucian. Be quiet, you guys, I said sexily. Me plan was working out great. Now we could make Voldemort good without doing it with him. Now Vampire's dead would never die, and okay, Satan and Hedwig, you guys can start making out, I said, and I started to film them with the iPod. Cool, said Sirius as Voldemort and Hedwig started to make out sexily. We watched as they started to take each other's clothes off sexily. Samaro, Sirius, Snake, and Lucian all watched because they were probably bi. I knew Snape was bi. Oh my fucking god! Voldemort! Voldemort! Screamed Hedwig as his Glock touched Voldemort's. But suddenly everything stopped as the door opened and in came Dumbledore and Mr. Norris! 11111111111. Chapter 42. The Black Parade. Author's note. OMG, the new book is coming out really soon. I can't wait. 1111. I think that Snap will really be the same person as Voldemort because they are both half-blood, so that will explain why he killed Dumbledore and he hated Harry. 1111. And then Harry will have to commit suicide so Voldemort will die because he will really be a Horcrux. 111. OMG, I hope Draco and Harry get together. That will be so schmexy, won't it? If they don't, then JKR is homophobic. 111111. Thanks for the help with facts, Medusa. Ooh, rock. 111. I sat depressedly in Dumbledore's office with Hedwig, Satan, James, Sirius, Snap, and Lucian. Dumbledore sitting in front of us cruelly. He looked more young than he did in the future. He had taken the iPod away and was now listening to a shitty Avril Lavigne song. What the hell is this anyway? He cackled meanly. I hoped he didn't find out that I was from another time. Whatever you do, don't blame Ibony, you jerk, Satan said. Yeah, seriously, she was trying to get Satan and Hedwig back together, Sirius said deviantly. Be quiet, you Satanist, Dumbledore cackled. If we're lucky, I'll probably send you all to Azkaban. That will teach you to copulate in the Great Hall. He changed the song on the iPod to an NSYNC song. Suddenly, I noticed something strong about the iPod. It was slowly changing. Dumbledore didn't notice. You fucking poser, I muttered. I bet you've never heard of GC, James said. No, I knew what the iPod was changing into. Marty McFly's Tim Machine 11. Shut up, Joms, Draco's dad shouted. Yeah, shut up, Snake said preppily. No, ooh, shut up, Dumbledore, 1111, said Tom. I've had enough of you Satanists in my school, shouted Dumbledore spuriously. Suddenly, I grabbed the iPod from him. Everyone, jump in before it's too late! I jumped into it, but only one other person jumped in. It was Satan. You dunderheads! 1111111111, screamed Dumbledore wisely as we went. I looked around. I was in the Slytherin conman room with Satan. I was wearing a black plaid miniskirt with hot pink fishnets, a sexy black MCR corset, and black stiletto boots with pink pentagrams on them. My earrings were Blake Satanist sins, and my raven hair was all around me to my mid-back. Hey, cool, where is this? He asked in an emo voice. This is the future. Dumbledore's iPod that he tried to take away from me was really also a Tim machine, I told him. Cool, what's an iPad? He whimpered. It's something you use to listen to music, I yacked. OMFG, cool. Wait, what's a four-letter word for dirt? He asked in his sexy voice. I guess sand? I laid confusedly. Yeah, I was just trying to make sure you were still the same person, he triumphantly giggled. Suddenly, some of my friends walked in. OMG, you're fucking alive, said Ginny, wearing a black leather jacket, black baggy pants, and a gothic black from first to last shirt. I explained to her why I was alive. Konnichiwa, bitch, said Willow. She was wearing a black corset showing off her boobs with lace all around it and red stripes on it. With it, she was wearing a black leather miniskirt, big black boots, white foundation, black eyeliner, red eyeshadow, and black lipstick. Hey, motherfucker, said Diablo with his red hair. He was wearing a black PATD shit and black baggy pants. Hey, who's that, Ibony? Bloody Mary questioned as she walked in wearing a black t-shirt with a red pentagram on it with lace at the bottom, red leather pants with black lace and black stilettos. Oh, it's Satan, I told her, and she nodded, knowing the truth. Suddenly, Satan started to cry. Are you okay, Satan? We asked concernedly. OMFG, we're from the future one. What if we don't like him anymore cause we're from different times? He asked. No, I still like you, I said sexily to him. Okay, he said reassuredly. I let him listen to Teenagers by MCR on my iPod while I was about to go outside and find some things. I gave Diablo a signal to keep Satan occupied. Satan fell asleep. I took the iPod. I was about to walk outside. Professor Sinister ran in, 1111. She was wearing a gothic black mini dress with depressing black stripes, white and black striped tights, and red Converse shoes. She was wearing lots of black eyeliner. Oh my fucking god, where's Draco, 111? How did Snap get back here? I thought he was in Azerbaijan, I asked sadly. Ebony, I was so worried about you, but I know you can't fucking die because you're a vampire. Snape came back because that girl Brittany freed him. I never liked her. She was a bad student, Travelry said reassuredly. That bitch, 1-1! Did she also free Hagrid and Lupin? I shouted angrily. I hated Brittany because she was a fucking prep. Yes, they're on the loose at the school. Dumbledore is back. Cornelius is on his way to help everyone. Tell everyone Usi to lock themselves in their conman room, Travelry said worriedly. Okay, but where's Draco? How come he was doing it with Snap? I don't know why, but I know that he almost tried to commit suicide after he saw U almost kill herself, she said. OMG, that's terrible, I gasped. Satan was still asleep, so he couldn't tell what was going on. Then I said, listen everyone, I have something impotent to do, and here everyone stay. With that, I ran out. Good luck, Tara, 1-1, everyone cried. I ran sexily down the stairs into the great hall while the portraits around looked at me scaredly. There was hardly anyone else in the stairs and there was an atmosphere of horror. On the way I saw Brittany laughing on the stairs. She was wearing a slutty pink shirt with flowers on it, a blue jean skirt, Abercrombie and pink stilettos. She looked just like a pentagram of those fucking preps Hilary Duff and Lindsay Lohan. You fucking bitch, 111, I shouted angrily. No, you're totally a bitch. Now Voldemort will, totally kill you, she laughed. Crucius one! I shouted selectively, pontificating my black wand, and she started screaming cause she was being tortured and I laughed sadistically. No, one! Help me, one! Please, one! Brittany screamed terrifiedly. I put up my middle finger at her. In her hand I saw the video camera Snape and Lupin had used to take the video of me. I put the tape of Voldemort doing it with Hedwig into it. Then I continued to roam down the stairs with the camera. When I had reached the Great Hall, I saw Vampire Potter. OMG, Vampira, 111, I yielded. Around them were black eyeliner and eyeshadow. He was wearing a black leather Jackson, leather pants, a Panic at the Disco concert shirt, and his black Converse shoes. He looked more like Joel from Good Charlotte than ever. Did you hear their song, The River? It rocks, one. I was so worried you died, moaned Vampire. I know, but I'm a vampire, lol. When I woke up, I was back in 1980, so anyway, I bought Voldemort from when he was young with me. Where's Draco? I asked spuriously. Draco? You mean that fucking poser who betrayed you? Vampire snarked with anger in his sexy voice. I know, but we have to find him, I said smarty. I'll do it then, Harry said angstily. Okay, I agreed. Suddenly, all the lights in the room went out, and then, the dork mark appeared. Oh my fucking Satan, Harry shouted. I think Voldemort has arrived, I said anxiously. Fuck, I have to find Draco, one. I guess we should separate. Okay, Vampire said, parading. Sadly, I ran into the Great Hall. Chapter 43. Author's note. I think after this I will have about 2 or 3 more chapters. Thanks to all my reviewers, not just flamers. If you flamed this story, then ooh suck, 11111. If you flamed, then fuck ooh, 111. I walked sexily into the Great Hall. It was empty except for one person. Draco was there. He sat there in deadly bloom with his black 666 t-shirt and his baggy black pants. He had slit his wrists, 111. I felt mad at him for having sex with Snape, but I felt sorry for him. He looked just like Gerard Way with his red eyes and his pale white face. Draco, are you okay? I asked. I'm not okay, he screamed desperately. I thought of the MCR song and I got even more depressed because that song always makes me cry. I gave him a pot cigarette and he started to smoke it. Oh Draco, why did you do it with that fucking bastard Snape? I asked tearfully. Draco began to say, but suddenly Lupin saw Mr. Norris appariated into the room. They didn't see us. I'm so glad me and Snape are freed, said Lupin. Damn, this job would be great if it wasn't for the fucking students, Mr. Norris agreed. Pop Addlem, 111, I yielded angrily, pointing my wand at them. No! One Lupin shouted as chains came on him. Mr. Norris ran away. You fucking perv, I said, laughing with depths of evil and oppressiveness in my voice. Now you have to tell us where Voldemort is or I'm going to torture you. I don't know where he is, 1111, said Lupin. Suddenly, Satan and Vampire ran into the room. Vampire didn't know who Satan was, really. Oh my Satan, we were so worried about you guys, Vampire said. I looked sexily at Draco with his gothic red eyes with contacts, black t-shirt that said 666 on it, and pale skin like Gerard Way. Vampire with his sexy black hair and red eyes just like Frank Ero, and Satan who looked just like Brandon Urie then. I selectively took the caramel from my pocket, and then I began Frenching Draco sexily. Lupin gasped. Draco began to take all of his clothes off, and I could see his white sex pack. Then Vampire took his own clothes off too. We all began making out together sexily. I took off my black leather bra, my black lace thong, and the rest of my clothes. Everyone took their Glocks out, except for me. I'm a girl, lol. Oh me Satan! Draco! I screamed as he put his harness in my thingy. Then he did the same thing to Harry. I began making out with Satan and he joined in. OMS 111! Cried Vampire. Oh Vampire! Vampire! I screamed. Oh Satan! Yelled Harry in pleasure. Lupin watched in shock. We took turns doing torture curses on him, because we were all sadists. Suddenly, a big black car that said 666 on the license plate flew straight through the windows, and Snap was in it! 1-1. Chapter 44. Author's note. Well, I have nothing to say, but Everett1, stop glamming, okay? 111. If any gothic people are reading this, then ooh rock! 11. OMG, I still can't wait for the movie 1. Tom Flutton is so hot, lol. I hope Harry will become gothic, cause me friend told me he is really emo in this book, 1111. OMFG, I'm leaving W pretty soon, can't wait! This'll probably be the last chapter until I come back. That's me car, shooted Draco angrily, but suddenly it was revealed who was in the car. It was Snape! I shall free you, Lupin, but first you must help me kill these idiotic dunderheads, he said cruelly from the car as it flew circumcising above us. Ebony Darkness Dementia Raven Way must be killed, then the Dork Lord shall never die. You fucking prep, yelled Draco. Then he looked at me sadly. I forgot to tell you, Ebony. Snape made me do it with him. I didn't really have sex him, but he's a rapist. We all put our clothes on quickly, except Satan. We were so scarred. But Satan didn't change. Instead, he changed into a man with green eyes, no nose, a gray robe, and white skin. He had changed into Voldemort 111. I knew who thou were all along, he cackled evilly and sarcastically at me. Now I shall kill thee all! Thunder came in the room. No, Pulls don't kill us, pleaded Vampire. Suddenly, Willow, Bloody Mary, Diabolo, Ginny, Dracula, Fred and George, Hagrid, McGonagall, Dumbledore, Sirius and Lucian all ran in. What is the meaning of this? Dumbledore asked all angrily, and Voldemort looked away because Dumbledore is the only wizard he is scared of. He did a spell, and suddenly his broomstick came to him sexily. Voldemort flew above the roof evilly on his broomstick. Oh my goth, Slugborn gasped. Get it? 'Cause I'm gothic? The Dark Lord shall kill all of you. Then you must submit to him, Snape ejaculated menacingly. You fucking preppy fags, Sirius shouted angrily. I know a 4-letter word for dirt. Cruciatus, screamed Harry, but the sparks from his wand only hit Draco's car. It fell down. Snap quickly crawled out of it and picked up the video camera. Oh my fucking god, I cried because the video of me in the bathroom, the video of me doing it with Draco, and the video of Satan doing it with, if you kill me, then these videos will be shown to everyone in the skull. Then you can be just like that gothic girl, Paris Hilton, he laughed meanly. No, I screamed. FYI, I have a picture of ooh doing it with Lupin 11. What's she talking about? Lupin slurped as he sat in chains. I saw it too, she's gonna show everyone the picture 111, Harry shouted angrily. Shut up, 111, Lumpkin roared. Foolish ignoramuses, yielded Voldemort from his broomstick. Thou shalt all die soon! Think again, you fucking muggle poser, Harry yelled, and then he and Diablo and Navel both took out black guns. But Voldemort took out his own one. You guys are in the Latin standoff, 111, I shouted desperately. Echo Neville's wand, 11, cried Voldemort, and suddenly Neville's wand was in his hands. Now I shall kill thee all, and Evany, who will die, 11111. He made lightning come all over the place. Save us, Ebony, Dumbledore cried. I cried sexily. I just wanted to go to the common room and slit my wrists with me friends while we watched Shark Attack 3 and Saw 2 and do it with Draco, but I knew I had to do something more important. Abracadabra! 11111, I shooted. The end.